New month, same goals. I'm Harry Tidgewell, and Newport rides an 8-game winning streak. And for the first day of July, they play host to the Danbury Westerners, a team they've already beat 2 times so far this season. But our main question, can the goals keep on rolling? We're going to talk about it now on our NECBL broadcast pregame show, starting right now.
You got me.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. I'm Matt Clements, joined alongside Adelina Albin, who works our social media and a sideline reporter. Adelina, it's your first year in Newport. What does your job entail, and how much have you enjoyed it?
I've loved it so far. I think it's so much fun. My job entails usually before the game. It depends what I'm doing. So if I'm doing sideline for the day, I'll prepare my hits for the day. And then if I'm doing social media, I do like a little pregame show. And so I'll interview a player. I'll kind of talk about who we're playing today and what the game entails for that day.
Now, you missed a game 2 weeks ago because you were in Pittsburgh at the Steelers facility with a group called Galvanize. You want to talk about that experience?
So Galvanize was so much fun. So I went to Pittsburgh. Basically, Galvanize is a group of women in sports, and it's basically women lead, women empower, and all those things. So how to be a female in a sports industry, how to really just be in a male-dominated industry as well. And the first day we sat in a conference room and we talked about all those things, how to get a good interview, how to talk to players, how to get someone's story out, kind of knowing their who and not their do. And then the second day we went to the actual facility and we got to sit down and talk to people. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, I talked to Robert Spears-Jennings, who was their round 7 draft pick. He's their safety this year. So that was really, really cool.
You know, being in Newport for almost a month already, it's already July, and we got another month ahead of us. What's your favorite part about the city?
I love the beach. I go to the beach all the time. I personally think it's my favorite place on earth, and I think I need to move closer to a beach because if I don't, I might lose my mind.
Thank you, Adelina. We'll have more next on the NECBL pregame show.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. Moment I gotta keep going. I'm shaking the dice and I'm kicking and rolling. They already know.
Welcome you back on the NECBL broadcast pregame show alongside assistant pitching coach Dylan Brown. And, it was a shutout victory up in the Upper Valley yesterday for Newport, and the arms looked really good between Nate Schlody and Kyler Zager. What do you attribute to their strong performances?
I'd say Nate probably didn't have his best stuff overall from his last couple outings, but I thought the defense behind him played really well. And then Kyler just came in and filled up the zone like crazy and used the defense behind him, like I said. So it was really nice for it to just be 6 innings and get the win.
Well, it's nice to get out of there quickly, but the pitching over the last week or so has been really strong all together, and you guys seem to really be in your groove of things. How do you go about just staying in that positive mojos type of space and not letting any of these games get to you?
Well, we had 20 strikeouts on Monday night, and I thought that was one of the best pitching performances I've seen. I mean, 10 Ks from Maddox Miller, and guys behind him just did the same thing. And I think these guys are competitive, and they're just feeding off each other in that aspect of things. And the term I like to say is we ride horses, and these boys are being some horses for us.
Well, Newport looks to keep riding here tonight against the Danbury Westerners. First pitch set for 6:35 on NECBL Plus. Make sure to tune in.
Most people spend their time trying to fit in. Not me. I want to be all in. I want to be in too deep, in the moment, in the center of it all, in the room where it happens. In it to make a difference every single moment of every single day. So grit your teeth and smile. Be ready to take on adversity. Be ready to transform the world. Ready for whatever life has in store. So, you in?
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. I'm Matt Clements, joined alongside the newest Newport Gull, Ernie Echeverria. Ernie came in at 10 o'clock last night into Providence. You're already in Newport. How did this come about, and how does it feel to be into such a culture of baseball down in Newport?
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys for having me, first of all. They got the call, and I'm excited to be here and play with this group of guys.
Yeah, you're coming in to a team. You're going to be the second catcher. Going to have a lot of fun there. But how did your season at Penn go? In the Ivy League, playing some really good teams. How was the season in Pennsylvania? Yeah,
it was good. I mean, those are some of my best friends, so obviously the level of baseball is a good level of baseball. I feel like it got better this year. It was a good season. We had a pretty good season, and I'm proud of what we did, and I'm ready for next year. So.
Yeah, and you really haven't had time to explore, but Newport has a lot to do. Are you excited to really blend in with this team and the city?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the guys that I've met a ton of them, and they're great guys. So I'm excited to keep on hanging out with them and play baseball. That's what we're all here for, so I'm excited.
Ernie and the rest of the Gulls team look to continue their win streak. That's all we have here now on the NECBL pregame show.
We are the heartbeat of innovation, the ones who care for your heart as if it were our own. We are challengers who never settle. We are healers who turn fear into hope and the impossible into done. We are at the heart of this community, providing advanced, nationally recognized medicine. We are South Coast Health, Heart and Vascular.
Back on the NECBL broadcast pregame show alongside Mason Legenza, outfielder for the Newport Gulls. And Mason, at the plate recently, you just seem to be timing up the ball a whole lot better. You've collected some really big hits across the past week or so, including an RBI single in yesterday's win. How's the timing improved for you as of late?
Yeah, I mean, as I'm collecting some at-bats, like you said, timing's getting a little better, working on things every day. Results so far haven't been coming, but trying to stick to my process and, build on that each day as we come to the field.
The offense as a whole collected about 8 hits or so last night, but only managed 2 runs on the scoreboard. What's the main key today to getting more runs in the run column?
Yeah, I think not trying to do too much. Like you said, we had 8 hits. Trying to keep things simple. Things will start clicking. We'll start putting more runs on the board. I know our pitching will keep runs off the board for them, but just trying to not be too big in the box and just try to keep things simple, do our job.
Well, Danbury is a team that the Newport Gulls have had their fair share against so far this season. Let's see if they can keep rolling tonight. First pitch set for 6:35 on NECBL Plus.
The motoring event of the year returns. The Audrain Newport Concours and Motor Week, October 1st through 4th. Witness breathtaking automobiles against a stunning backdrop of coastline and historic venues. From celebrated events like the Gathering and Concours d'Elegance to the all-new Supercar and Hypercar Concours, and free access to the Concours Village. There's something for all to enjoy. Join us in our Chair Jay Leno in celebrating automotive excellence, luxury, and community. Tickets on sale now.
Wrapping up on the NECBL broadcast pregame show for the little broadcaster roundtable with Danbury's own Luca Mucciardi and our own Matt Clements. I'm Harry Tidgewell. I'll start with you, Luca. And they have Danbury. They've won 3 of their last 4. They've really begun to put things together, but Newport's a team they're yet to beat so far this season. So to put it simply, what are the Westerners trying to do here tonight?
No, I think for Danbury, the name of the game today is going to be putting it together for 9 innings. They got off on the front foot well yesterday against Martha's Vineyard, and then a 3 spot in the 6th inning ended up being their downfall. The bullpen a little bit lackadaisical. It's going to get hit by a ball. It's baseball. We're used to it. But Danbury going to be looking to just put together a solid 9 innings like they were able to do last week against teams like Ocean State, where they were able to win those 3 in a row, like you mentioned, and get themselves right back into that 500 race.
Well, you can tell we're nearing the action as the Westerners take their batting practice. Matt Clements, I turn to you, and Newport's been so impressive as of late, 8 straight wins, but the offensive numbers in terms of the run column haven't been quite there as of late. How does the offense go about having a little bit of a boost here tonight?
Well, yeah, you can only ride on the pitching so long, and I think tonight, top of the order, early innings, get ahead. Swing the bat, set the tone that, hey, we're swinging the bat tonight, get in the pitcher's head, make them go to the bullpen early on, and I think that's how they set the tone offensively.
2 teams have looked hot as of late, but who will come out here on top tonight? The Danbury Westerners and Newport Gulls. First pitch set for 6:35 on NECBL Plus. Make sure to tune on in. I'm Harry Tidgewell saying see you in a little bit.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Cardines Field and the 25th season of Newport Gulls baseball. It really seems like yesterday. Tonight's game sponsor is the famed Brook Alley Pub. Gate volunteers are from the Kiwanis Club of Newport. The 50-50 raffle will benefit that fine organization. The New England Collegiate Baseball League presents the Danbury Westerners versus your Newport Gulls. Starting lineup for the Westerners. Leading off, the center fielder, number 1, Aiden Stern. Trinity College. The Trinity College in Connecticut. There are several. He's from South Salem, New York. Batting second, the first baseman, number 24, Kyle Grabowski of Pontiac University in the town of New Fairfield, Connecticut. Batting third baseman, number 3, Ronan Donahue of Sacred Heart University in the town of Melrose, Massachusetts. Batting fourth, the right fielder, number 99, Jack Lewis of Denison University in the town of Benicia, Pennsylvania. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 6, Gavin Donahue, brother of Ron. He also attended Sacred Heart University and resides in Melrose, Massachusetts. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 32, Michael Delp of Stanford University in the city of Knoxville, Tennessee. Batting seventh, the pitcher, Colin Lowry of the University of Louisville, Kentucky. He's from Montana, Illinois. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 2, Jack Edmonds of Brown University, a resident of Sonoma, Washington. Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 11, Noah Rivera of Portal University in the city of Washington, New York. On the mound tonight for the West, number 50, Daniel Lang, Stonehill University in the city of Sudbury, Connecticut. The coaching staff, the manager is Connor Farrell, and he has 3 assistants, Billy Gerlach, Louis Lopez, and Tim Finkowski. Here are the starting lineup in the Newport Gulls, and they will be accompanied by baseball buddies from the Newport Little League Mixed All-Stars softball team. Leading off, the center fielder, number 16, Devin Girewa. Eastern Michigan University, Pennsylvania.
And his baseball buddies, Addison Knoll and Tegan Foster.
Batting second, the second baseman, number 15, Tristan Salinas of Rutgers University, Boone, North Carolina. Who likes to keep score? Scorecard. Batting third, the left fielder, number 3, Colby Wallace of East Carolina University in the town of Bisco, North Carolina.
And his baseball buddy, Layla Hurd and Maya McCrae.
Batting in fourth position, the first baseman, number 24, Brandon Larson of the University of Southern California, a resident of Rockland, California.
And his baseball buddy, Adeline Loveland.
Batting fifth, the catcher, number 10, Peter Mershon of Coastal Carolina University in the town of Taylors, South Carolina. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 25, Braxton Trammell of East Carolina University in the town of Pickering, North Carolina.
And his baseball buddies, Avery Knoll and Addie Foster.
Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 30, Cade Brown of Georgia Tech City of Jefferson, Georgia. Batting 8, the right fielder, number 43, Cole Johnson of Austin D University in the capital city of Austin, Texas. Batting 9th, the shortstop, number 1, Hayden Cloud of the University of Kentucky in the town of Nixa, Missouri.
And his baseball buddies, Lucy and Penny Condella.
Pitching for the Newport Gulls tonight, number 33, Mason Christopher of Seton Hall University in Middletown, New Jersey. Not to be confused with Middletown, Rhode Island, or Middletown, Pennsylvania, and the other 20 around. The coaching staff, the manager is Mike Coon. Hitting coach, Teddy Regan. Pitching coach, Kevin Long. And the assistant coaches, Dylan Brown, and former Gulls player, Noah Martinez. The umpires assigned to tonight's game. Pulling balls and strikes, Mr. Jake Bridgepath. On the base path, Mr. Joe Gravina and Mr. David Graham. We trust these fine gentlemen will be accorded every courtesy. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Good evening, Gulls fans, and welcome to the Red Sox Foundation Night at historic Guardians Field, featuring tonight's matchup between the Danbury Westerners and your Newport Gulls. The Red Sox Foundation is the official charity of the Boston Red Sox, harnessing the passion of Red Sox Nation to make a difference in the lives of youth, veterans, families, and communities in need by improving their health, educational, and recreational opportunities. Earlier this morning, the Red Sox Foundation held their annual play ball event right here at historic Guardians Field. Play ball events are held throughout New England and offer free baseball and softball clinics for youth ages 5 to 12 with no experience necessary. Today, at Guardians Field, over 180 kids had the opportunity to participate in the play ball event led by the Red Sox Foundation and some of our very own Gulls players. This was the most attended play ball Newport event the Gulls have had while working with the Red Sox Foundation. On behalf of the Newport Gulls organization, we would like to thank the Red Sox Foundation for all that you do for the kids, as well as what you have done for the Newport Gulls fans over the past years of our partnership. Thank you, Red Sox Foundation. Tonight, Gulls fans, I'd like to welcome some very special guests to throw up tonight's ceremonial first pitches. First up is Honesty, who is a 17-year-old junior at Portsmouth High School and is Miss Teen Rhode Island. She is a varsity cheerleader who is a member of the Art Honor Society, leads her community service initiative, Art Heals, Shaping Ability Beyond Disability, and will be competing at Miss America's team this September. She is joined tonight by her two moms and her brothers, Caleb and Heather. Next up, Gulls fans, is some of our very own parents and some of our very own Gulls players. First up is Renee Solis, the father of Tristan Solis. And Tristan's message to his father is that Renee Solis is a professor at App State and my favorite PE teacher. Love you, Dad. Next up is Kim Brodsky, mother of Adam Brodsky. Adam's message to his mom is that Adam would like to thank his family for following him around the country this past season. He is incredibly grateful that they always believed in him and supported him through all the ups and downs, and he wants her to know how much he loves her. Great pitch, June. And last, but certainly not least Gulls fans, is Clayton Johnson, the father of Cole Johnson. And Cole's message to his father is thank you for supporting my dreams. Love you, Mom and Dad. On behalf of the Newport Gulls, we would like to thank the Red Sox Foundation for sponsoring tonight's game and for having all of our players' parents be in attendance tonight for our Parents' Weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd ask you to please rise and remove your caps, if you are able, for the presentation of the nation's colors. Presenting the nation's colors tonight are members of the Boston Fire Department. And performing tonight's national anthem is Eric Dunn.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets the balls bursting in air gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of
June is old news as we roll into July, the midst of summer baseball in the NECBL, and a South Division showdown here tonight as the Danbury Westerners battle it out with the Newport Gulls. Newport, winners of 8 straight and aim to keep rolling against the Danbury squad they've already beaten twice this season. But can the Westerners spoil the winning streak, or will the Gulls show no signs of slowing down? First pitch coming up next on NECBL Plus. welcome you back to historic Cardines Field, and it's time for a South Division bout between the Danbury Westerners and Newport Gulls. We welcome you into the broadcast booth alongside Matt Clements and Luca Mucciardi. I'm Harry Tidgewell. Pleasure to be alongside you two gentlemen, and well, we're in for a good one. Two teams that have looked really strong as of late. Danbury, winners in 3 of their last 4, and Newport, winners of 8 straight, 10 out of their last 11. Luca, I'll start with you. Danbury so far this season 0-2 against the Gulls, but a chance to really spoil things in front of the Gulls home crowd here tonight and snap that Newport winning streak. How are they going to go about it?
Well, last time it was here, it was a 10-6 win for the Gulls, and it seemed like Danbury had it in spurts. They found the offense toward the end of that game, a couple of long balls in the 8th inning from Colin Mowry and Peter Link. They're going to be looking on that. Their offense has been good. Their bullpen has improved since then, has allowed them to win 3 of their last 4, entering tonight's action and starting to climb those rankings in the team pitching statistics in the NECBL. So interesting to see how this Danbury lineup and rotation/bullpen goes into tonight's action here at Cardines.
Getting on the board early, a key for Danbury, but Matt, Newport has looked tremendous as of late. They come off a 2-0 shutout win against Upper Valley. The pitching's been phenomenal, a great arm in Mason Christopher on the mound tonight, but they really are looking to put together a complete ball game. What do they need to get done?
Yeah, it needs to start with the hitting. Start early, get runs early, but they've been riding on pitching. You can only do that for so long. Give your pitchers some support. Let them do their thing on the mound like they have been, and that pieces together. The bullpen's been great. Overall, this team's the hottest in the league right now. They got to keep that up.
Well, we send you down to the field as we get ready for first pitch. Mason Christopher making his 5th appearance, 5th start on the year, a 3.77 ERA across 14 1/3 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts to just 1 walk. So a guy that doesn't issue a lot of free passes, but the last time out against the Valley Blue Sox, not exactly his best work. Gave up 4 earned runs and just 2 1/3 innings pitched. But other than that, this season he's been one of, if not the go-to arm for Newport. He was the first-day starter and has found his spot in the rotation since. We'll see if he can get back on track here tonight. The guy's backing him up in the field. Across the outfield grass, it's Colby Wallace, who hit his first home run of the season yesterday. Devin Zyrus in center, and Cole Johnson over in right. At the hot corner, Braxton Trammell, Caden Cloud, and Tristan Salinas up the middle. Brandon Larson at the first base bag, and then Peter Mershon doing the catching duties today for Mason Christopher. We take a look at the offensive lineup for Danbury from Luca Mucciardi.
And leading off, it'll be Aiden Stern out of Trinity College. Kyle Garbowski, the first baseman, bats second. Ronan Donahue moves up from the cleanup spot yesterday into the 3-hole. He'll play third. And Jack Ludy, coming off his D3 National Championship with Denison, will clean things up. Gavin Donahue bats 5th. Michael Delph out in left field today. He'll bat 6th. The backstop, Colin Mowry, tied atop the league in home runs. He'll bat all the way down in 7th. Jack Edmonds, the DH, will bat 8th. And Noel Rivera will round out the lineup tonight, batting 9th and playing short.
Jack Ludy, that will be a guy that Matt Benestad's brother plays at Endicott, which faced off against Denison in that D3 National Championship. So I'm sure a guy that Matt had watched during that 3-game series. It was a thrilling series. I remember watching some of the highlights of that Game 2 specifically, which Endicott ended up winning. But all 3 games were really strong performances on both sides. He'll be in the lineup in right field today. But leading things off is Aiden Stern. Lefty on lefty to kick it off from Cardines. 80 degrees and sunny with a slight breeze in typical Newport fashion. The first pitch from Christopher misses the outer third, so 1 ball and no strikes as we get underway from Newport. We're multitasking right now in that Belgium and Senegal are in extra time. We were watching before the game and still not quite out of things, so we'll be keeping you updated in case you don't have the screen in front of you at home as well. The winner of that would play the winner of USA and Bosnia, that game kicking off at 8 p.m. 1 ball, 1 strike. Christopher out of the windup, kicks and deals. Misses down low in the dirt. And credit to Peter Mershon behind the dish, who hasn't done a bunch of catching, primarily an outfielder committed to Coastal Carolina next season. But that catcher's gear, the blue and the orange, right on fit with the Newport Gulls color scheme, it feels like he did it on purpose.
Almost like they said, hey, Pete, you're going to have to catch a little bit this year. And he said, all right, well, I want to look cool while I'm doing it, right?
Might as
make
well.
it match.
Christopher misses upstairs. He's issued just 1 walk this season, but falling behind quickly to Aiden Stern. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Stern has walked more than any other Westerner so far this season. 18 free passes on the season.
A .493 on base as he chops one right side. Larson has it and will take it to the bag himself. for the first out of the inning. Just a rolled over grounder is how Christopher collects his first. And in steps another lefty, and Kyle Garbowski, who's been one of, if not the best hitter for the Westerners so far this season, slashing .309 with a .309 slugging as well, a .388 on base. So we haven't seen a bunch of pop out of him just yet. 21 of his hits being good for singles, but he's done a good job of just being a solid hit machine throughout. The breaking ball misses for a ball.
Yeah, Westerners manager Connor Farrell coming out with 2 lefties against the left-handed pitcher. Again, NECBL, I look at the Gulls bullpen, they have 6 relievers that pitch righty, so that might come and help them in the later innings.
1-0. Misses downstairs. Christopher, the location through these first 2 batters hasn't exactly been there. Went down 3-1 against Stern, 2-0 against Garbowski. Of course, it's early, but for a guy that really trusts locating his pitches, that's something he'll need to work deep into this one. Catches the inside corner, 2-1.
And it'll be interesting to see how he works against this Danbury lineup where you can kind of tell on paper the on-base percentage, hit for average type of guys stay toward the top, and then you get the power bats the deeper you go into it. It's not your traditional, start off with your fast, your good average guys, and then you get some power hitters, and then you sprinkle back in those high average guys again at the end. It's a pretty kind of head-to-toe start light, get heavy as you go down.
3 balls and 1 strike for the second at-bat in a row. Christopher kicks and deals right down Main Street as the count runs full. Mason Christopher out of Seton Hall has been one of the go-to starters for Newport all season. Him, Will Taylor, Jake Lenahan, and Nate Schlote getting much of the action. The payoff pitch, breaking ball in the dirt, a swinging strike 3. Throw it over to first, just in the nick of time. So Christopher picks up his first K of the ball game, his 13th of the season. Works back after being down 3-1 in the count, and Danbury on the verge of going 1-2-3, but Ronan Donahue, the third baseman, stands in the way.
What about the job from Christopher there? You go down 3-1, back-to-back batters, then you fight back with maybe a changeup right down the middle, and then 3-2 on Garbowski. You can go anywhere. You know he's going to chase, and you put one right in front of the plate that he hacks and misses on.
Collecting outs early. First pitch misses low and away to Ronan Donahue, his brother Gavin batting in the 5 spot. Last time we were here, they're both playing the middle infield as well, but Noel Rivera slots in at shortstop, the recent Jacksonville State commit, as Donahue slides over to the hot corner. Ronan Donahue, I should say. Second pitch, a breaking ball, misses in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes.
It's going to be a fun thing right there. Luca, I know you've mentioned how much fun the Donahue brothers are, but playing the left side of the infield all summer and, at the collegiate level, being able to play with him, that's just, kind of like a dream for them, playing Division I baseball and then, college summer league baseball together.
2-0. Downstairs as well. That's where Christopher has had some early trouble, missing at that bottom low part of the zone. Even that payoff pitch to Garbowski was in the dirt, but able to generate the chase. But now just 1 pitch away from Danbury's first base runner of the ball game. The 3-0. In at the letters for strike 1.
And the Donahue twins are probably the 2 guys in this lineup that the least that you want to get behind on, because you take a look at where they sit amongst the offensive ranks of the NECBL. Gavin tied for first in RBIs. Ronan just a spot behind him in second.
6 extra base hits as well. Grounds one at the hot corner. Trammell has it. Throw on the run to first in time. So despite falling behind to all 3 batters, Christopher sends the Westerners down 1-2-3. Newport gets their first chances at the plate. Coming up next on NECBL Plus.
I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. We put the balls in the brakes. I'm talking one chance at best, yes. Painting pictures for the culture, keep the brushes fresh. Flip the cover, work the drummer, passion never rests. Freedom is our teacher under pressure, now we blessed. Yeah, it's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Stadionic's primary goal is to maximize fan safety and amplify the fan experience so that you or your client get exactly what you envision.
Welcome into beautiful Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It's downright gorgeous.
We welcome you back for the bottom of the first on NECBL Plus between the Newport Gulls and Danbury Westerners. And well, on the mound for Westerners, it's an unfamiliar face in the NECBL. Dan Lang making his first appearance, first start of the season. And with more, I hand it over to you, Luca Mucciardi.
A senior out of Southbury, Connecticut, who plays his ball over at Stonehill College. Lang coming off a 2-6 year at Stonehill, 13 appearances, 9 of them were starts, had a complete game in there as well. And in 44 innings of work, a 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, 30 Ks and 30 base on balls. So he'll be looking to try to improve upon those statistics here this summer in the month of July for the Danbury Westerners.
And behind him in the field, left to right, go ahead.
Yeah, left to right in the outfield, it'll be Michael Delph, Aiden Stern, Jack Ludy out in right, Ronan Donahue at third, Noel Rivera will take over at short, Gavin Donahue at second, Kyle Garbowski at first, and Colin Mowry will be the backstop, doing the duties of being the catcher for Dan Lang on the mound today. That's how Danbury will attack this very dangerous Newport lineup that comes in about as hot as you can be in the NECBL.
Very dangerous indeed. They've managed to score double digits the first 2 times they've faced the Westerners so far this season, but as of late, haven't put up a lot of big numbers in the run column. They'll try and change that tonight. Devin Zyrus, the recent Coastal Carolina commit, bats leadoff, followed by Salinas, Kobe Wallace, who had a home run in yesterday's ball game, and then Brandon Larson bats cleanup. Mershon Trammell and Cade Brown bat 5, 6, 7, and then Cole Johnson and Caden Cloud round out today's batting order, batting 8th and 9th. We just had a score in the Belgium-Senegal game off of a penalty kick. Belgium, and in the 125th minute, so that game nearing its close. Looks like Belgium might have just punched their ticket to the round of 16. They'll face the winner of United States and Bosnia, kicking off in just a couple of hours. But the first pitch from Dan Lang on the NECBL season into Cyrus, and misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Cyrus has been a dangerous bat all season long, batting .379, 6 extra base hits, all of them doubles. Bumps his slugging all the way up to .483, and he gets on base over half the time, a .507 on base to be exact. Up 2-0, the pitch in, misses upstairs. 3 pitches, 3 balls, and Devin Zyrus trying to do his job out of the leadoff spot, just get on base. We talked to him earlier in the week about how he's bounced around the top of that batting lineup a little bit. In days where Gus Gandy hasn't been the leadoff man, it's typically Devin Zyrus as he works the 4-pitch walk. And he says sometimes it just takes a shift in your approach at the plate out of that leadoff spot. I've learned I have to be more patient. I have to try and get on base and supply the guys behind me with opportunities to hit me in. And a good start to his day as he works the walk and hands things off to Tristan Salinas. .339 batting average on the season. Another real power bat as well.
And I mean, how important has that been for Newport, especially during this hot streak? If you look up and down their roster, 5 guys hitting above 300, and they all have at least 10 games played, or in Brendan Larson's case, playing his 10th game of the season tonight.
Salinas is a typical pull hitter, but we've seen him go more opposite field as of late. The 1-0 is fouled back into the netting and evens the count at 1s. He did on Monday in the last home game for Newport, ripped a deep fly ball that was well over that right field fence, the netting above the fence as well. That at first he got about 3/4 of the way down the line before the umpire at home raised his hands and called it a foul ball. Would have been his 2nd of the season, but instead he'll have to try and find that tonight. Zyrus takes off. Salinas sends a rocket into center field. Working back is Stern. He's not going to get there. Zyrus rounding third. He'll score with ease. It's an RBI double for Tristan Salinas. The goal's on the board early. An absolute rocket from Tristan Salinas.
Yeah, the Westerners have had a problem with him all year. Last game on June 19th, he went 3 for 4, scored twice, coming out swinging on the hit and run right there, and that's a great executed play from the Gulls right there.
Well, Zyrus was already 3/4 of the way to second, and then once Salinas put bat on ball, you knew something dangerous was coming because that thing flew off the lumber all the way out into the gap just beyond the center fielder, Aiden Stern. And in a ballpark like this, in the deepest part of this ballpark, that's going to score a run all day. And exactly the start that Newport might have been drawing up coming into this one.
Went right at the 360 sign in center field. Now Colby Wallace, who hit a 400-foot home run against the Upper Valley Nighthawks yesterday to give Newport their 2-0 lead that eventually held as the final score through 6 innings of play before that game was canceled due to rain. First pitch is a ball. 1-0. In there at the belt for a strike.
And you talk about that start right there. That's typically what Coach Coombs wants out of the lineup. Your leadoff hitter gets on, your second hitter drives him in, especially on a hit and run right there. Now you got a hot hitter at the plate, and then you have a lefty in the 4-hole, big power hitter. So he really put this lineup together with strategy. It's already working out.
Breaking ball is in there as well. So Lang trying to settle in, working ahead on Wallace, who has had a fairly strong week, has collected 2 hits through those first 2 games on Monday and Tuesday. An RBI opportunity with Salinas on base and still no outs, or at least a chance to move him over to third. 1-2 is a breaking ball that finishes about a foot out of the zone but gets the chase from Wallace. So Lang has his first out of the ball game via the K. But in stands another lefty. 3 of the first 4 batters for Newport left-handed between Zyrus Salinas and Brandon Larson.
Well, if you were going to ask, how does Lang respond after giving up that deep shot into center field? Well, you come back, you get a 4-pitch strikeout of Colby Wallace, but the road doesn't get much easier. As you said, Brandon Larson coming in with that .308 batting average on the season and a chance to bring home another runner.
Another just tremendous power bat in terms of what he can do at the plate. 8 hits already on the season, 5 of them for extra bases, including 2 long balls. Makes the slugging a .654. Yeah, you heard that right. The 1-0 misses up and away, 2-0. From that left side, stands at 6'6", 240. When he gets a hold of one, he sends it flying.
Yeah, he had a second inning home run against Danbury last time, and at the time it was the longest home run in the NECBL in the year.
Swings through the breaking ball, fouled back, in and out of the mitt for strike 1.
And didn't just do it with the long ball in that game. 3 free passes as well. In his next 4 at-bats after that one, was on base 4 out of 5 times. Could do a little bit of everything. It seems to just have Danbury's number so far this year.
2 balls, 1 strike. Lang kicks and deals. Another breaking ball that catches the top of the zone. Belgium-Senegal has just gone final, 3-2 in favor of Belgium as they advance to the round of 16. An exciting game. Senegal up 2-0. Belgium fighting back in the final 20 minutes of action and then eventually scoring the game winner via the penalty in extra time. The 2-2 misses upstairs, so the count runs full. Not an easy lineup to have to go against if you're Dan Lang in your first appearance, first start of the season in front of a packed house here at Cardines. One of the best teams in the entire NECBL in terms of offensive output. That's just been so hot as of late as the breaking ball misses at the eyes. So a full count walk to Brandon Larson puts runners on first and second with still 1 out as Peter Mershon steps in.
Yeah, I'm okay with that walk right there. I know he kind of lost the at-bat. He was ahead early and then threw multiple balls in a row, but now you have a force out. You didn't have that with a runner on second, so anything on the ground right here could be an inning-ending double play. That's what Lang's going for, a ground ball, a double play ball.
And you might see the corner shift a tad in. Looks like Ronan Donahue will play a step or 2 more in than he usually does on a 1-out ball.
Mershon also had a home run the last time Danbury came to town. Watches ball 1 outside. .269 batting average on the season. 5 RBIs to his name as well. Has a runner in scoring position opportunity. One out. In the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes.
And I mentioned it back in the last half inning on the side of Mason Christopher and saying you don't want him to get behind in counts early. And he was able to escape all 3 times he got behind. Dan Lang so far has had the opposite. He's gotten behind and not been able to claw out of that. Now 2-0. Needs to find the strike zone, find some confidence.
Right at the head of Peter Mershon, and now 3 balls and no strikes, and you have to wonder if the leash on Dan Lang is going to get yanked sooner rather than later. The Westerners already 0-2 against the Gulls so far this season. We're still only in the middle of this NECBL season, but the fight for playoff spots has already begun, and the Danbury Westerners on the outside looking in. And after a loss last night, you don't want another losing streak to ensue that could put them out of the playoff race sooner rather than later.
You don't want to go streak for streak. They won 3 in a row going into last night. You don't want to lose 3 in a row and be that team that bounces up and down, up and down.
Well, the 3-0 catches the inside. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Still a hitter's count to Mershon.
Came 3-0 with the off-speed right there, so 3-1. If you're going to throw another one of those off-speed pitches, you got to locate it. You cannot walk the bases loaded, especially with the left-handed hitter coming up on deck. I'd watch fastball here, anything on the outside half.
3-1 is another breaking ball, sawed in at the hands towards second. Donahue to second for 1. No throw over to first from Rivera. So a 4-6 fielder's choice for the second out of the inning, as Newport will have runners on the corner for Braxton Trammell.
It's just one of those that's a little bit too softly hit to try the turn 2. Donahue got it to second, but Rivera had to kind of step on the bag and hit the spin throw, was never going to be able to nail out the speedy Mershon. So Newport, again, just moving the line along. You get down to your 6th batter, and Braxton Trammell with still men on the corners and 2 away.
Trammell, the switch hitter, electing to go in the left-handed batter's box for the favorable matchup against the righty. The first pitch is lined right side, but off of the wall of the warehouse, bouncing all the way back to the first base bag for a loud first strike of the AB. And if you're Dan Lang, for a first inning that definitely didn't have the start you were hoping for, all 3 out of the 4 first batters reaching base. Salinas smoking a double into center field to score 1. If you could get out of this inning with only 1 run on the scoreboard, I think you'd have to consider that a success.
And if he does, you could probably see him going 3 to 4 innings today. You know, after that start, you're already worried about his pitch count.
Looks like Glenn Smith is up in the Danbury pen, another guy who is no stranger to coming in as a long reliever or a starter this season. So maybe, like you said, that leash a little short.
Trammell with a towering fly ball in a center field. Stern having to work back, getting close to the wall, but enough room to make the catch for out number 3. So Tristan Salinas' double scores 1 for Newport, but they leave 2 stranded to end the bottom of the first. A 1-0 lead in favor of the Gulls. The second inning coming up next on NECBL Plus.
Every pitch, every hit, every moment that matters. From youth baseball to the professional leagues, this is where the next generation of players takes the field. The passion, the intensity, the pursuit of greatness. From future stars to unforgettable moments, every game tells a story, live and on demand all season long. Watch the future of the game unfold. Watch on HomeTeamLive.com.
Well, after a 1-2-3 top of the first, Mason Christopher looks to keep on grooving against 4-5-6 and Jack Ludy, Gavin Donahue, and Michael Delph. The lefty had a little bit of trouble, but retired the first 3 leadoff men nonetheless, and he's a really solid arm out of Seton Hall. He has a lot of command, a good mix with the breaking ball and the fastball that he pairs together real nicely. But I think your main key, if as a starter that wants to work deep into this ball game, has to be attacking the zone more early. Isn't that right, Matt?
Yeah, I agree. You're going to keep the pitch count down. A lot of these guys are on pitch limits, inning limits. So make the most of your innings. You don't want to be walking guys, and that just makes it worse for the game. Quicker outs, quicker at-bats. Make them swing and make your fielders make a play. You got 7 guys behind you who can make a play. And, you can pitch for the strikeout, but getting behind 2-0, 3-0 like we saw in the first inning, not what you need, especially in these early innings.
Also the fact that you're a left-handed starter, which really comes as a premium in the NECBL. There aren't many teams out there that can say, hey, we have a southpaw that has a solid mix, that has good velocity for pitchers in this league to go out there. And if you can get 3, 4, even touch 5 innings out of this guy, get through that lineup card one or two times. It's exactly why Newport has seen success this season and why they continue to go to him as one of their rotational starters.
Well, he worked during his college season at Seton Hall, worked into the 5th inning or later 6 total times. And we've seen the longevity in some of his starts this season. The last one against the Valley Blue Sox, of course, cut a little short after not his strongest start to the ball game. But that does it for the warm-up pitches as the leadoff man and Jack Ludy stands on in. Ludy making just his 6th start of the season. This will be his 20th at bat, batting .211 with a .368 slugging, .286 on base.
And his first home run of the season last night, 350-footer out over the right field wall back in Danbury at Rogers Park.
You'd have to expect we see some more home runs here tonight. The first time these two squads faced off, it was 5 home runs in Danbury. And then back in Newport, there was 4 more, 2 on each side. Through the first inning, still 0 on both sides, but it's early, and we'll see if we have any long ball theatrics. Both of these teams, the top of the NECBL, Danbury with 18, Newport with 17. Pitch catches the zone, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Definitely one of the warmer games we've had at Newport this year. Ball's going to fly, ball's going to carry, and especially at some short parks of the ballpark, you'd see the ball fly tonight.
A swing and a miss for strike 2. Yeah, the wind definitely seems to be blowing out a little bit right to left because you saw that fly ball from Braxton Trammell to end the last inning, had a lot of air underneath it and really pushed Stern back towards that deep part of the center field wall. 1-2, Christopher looking for his 2nd strikeout, but Ludy out ahead of it, taps it foul right side.
It is also a little bit weird because this concourse seems to funnel that air a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You stand out on the field, we were earlier during batting practice, you don't feel that breeze as much. It feels more of just a hot, dry summer day, but then you sit up here in the broadcast booth especially, it feels like it's whipping behind you.
Another slow grounder towards the right side. Larson has it flipped to Christopher in time at the first base bag. So the first 4 retired for Danbury. A look at the fielder's choice from last inning, but a nice play from the first baseman, Brandon Larson, and Mason Christopher to retire Jack Ludy. And that's when you're able to work ahead. He was in control. That's something we didn't really see a lot in the first inning, but he worked ahead on Ludy, and then the breaking ball. You see those defensive swings out of the cleanup man, and that's how you generate the weak contact as the first pitch breaking ball is in there for a strike.
And when you get ahead, especially in a guy like Ludy who can deal damage with one blow, you shrink that zone. You make him have to protect so much more. You can't swing at maybe those pitches he would rather not be swinging at. He's forced to. And again here, gets ahead 0-2 quickly on Gavin Donahue, another dangerous bat.
Yeah, good job there by Larson and Christopher. We call that a PFP, the 3-1 ground out. That can be tough because these guys don't have a lot of time to work it, but I remember seeing early in the season pitching coach Kevin Long, assistant coach Noah Martinez, working on that pregame, so the Gulls were prepared, and that's something that coaches really tried to get out of the way at the beginning of the season, get the chemistry between the first baseman and the pitchers, because that's a rare play. You might only see it 2-3 times a game, but it's an important one that we've seen in the biggest moments in MLB. 2024 World Series, Garrett Cole, just so many different times we've seen that easy ground ball not be so easy.
Thanks for reminding me, Matt.
I had to shout it out right there.
An unforgettable game as a Yankees fan, yes. I remember watching that. I remember telling my dad, maybe they should start saving arms for Game 6 with the way that game was looking, and it just unraveled so quickly. A line drive left side and past Trammell's glove down into the left field corner. Wallace giving chase. The umpire lifts his hands. It'll be a ground rule double as that escaped into the bullpen on a rope from Gavin Donahue, the first base hit of the ball game for the Danbury Westerners, and it's good for extra bases. It's funny you mentioned that PFP, Matt Clements, because yesterday when the Gulls were at the Upper Valley Nighthawks, there was a messed up PFP where Nate Schlody was covering the bag and just a throw that was a little too far behind him, just a hectic play. No runs ended up scoring, but they did move into scoring position. But the first PFP of the day for Newport was clean. Gavin Donahue, got a really good piece of that baseball, though.
And how important does it go back to the bottom of the first? You only allow 1 run if you're Danbury, and you bring a dangerous hitter, Michael Delph, to the plate, a chance to tie the game with 1 swing after Donahue's double.
A runner in scoring position with 1 out.
I was talking to you about it before the game. Delph started the season primarily as an outfielder, then moved himself into the bullpen, became the primary closer for this team while DHing at the same time. Now is out in left field for the first time since June the 13th in a loss out on Martha's Vineyard to the Sharks.
Committed to Sanford during the summer season. He'll be teaming up with Newport's Gus Gandy down south. Works ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Christopher peeks back at second. A jump from Donahue, but delivers home and misses downstairs. 3 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, if you're Christopher, you can allow a walk right here. Again, the same situation we saw bottom of the first inning with the Gulls. Even though, it's another wasted batter, allows the force down, especially with 1 out. You really want, a force at any base.
Mowry, the catcher, stands on deck. The 3-0 home. In at the knees for strike 1. Jake Brichta, the home plate umpire in tonight's ball game, calling balls and strikes. Christopher once again trying to work back. We saw him do it in the first inning. Does he have it in him in the second? The 3-1 misses inside, so Delph works the 5-pitch walk. Runners on first and second for Danbury. Back-to-back base runners as Colin Mowry, the righty, now stands in.
Well, the last time Mowry took an at-bat here at Cardines Field about 2 weeks ago, I think that ball's still flying. He ripped one down the left field line, basically hugged the chalk as much as you could, went over the playground out there beyond the fence, and that started what became a 3 home runs in 3 game stretch that puts him tied atop the league lead in that category. 4 long balls on the season.
First pitch from Christopher misses the low and away corner. 1 ball, no strikes. It was Star Wars night last time you were here. I think we were saying that ball was headed for Tatooine something like that.
We made some type of reference to a planet.
1 ball and no strikes. Christopher trying to settle back in. Mowry taps one straight backwards and foul.
Must be nice for any team to have a power hitting catcher, a guy who is top of the league in home runs. Because you see in the MLB, some guys have 3 home runs in 2 years because they're really there for their glove. When you got to get a guy who can do both, that's really more valuable than anything. Having a guy who you don't have to chalk number 9, you can put him 5, 6, 7 in the order, and he's still going to produce.
Donahue jumping, takes off for third. The pitch a called strike, throw to third, not going to be in time. A double steal from the Danbury Westerners, a success as Gavin Donahue and Michael Delph both move into scoring position. A really strong jump. It wasn't a poor throw by Mershon in the slightest, but still just not enough time to nab the runner.
If you want to beat a hot team, the only way to do so is be aggressive. Exactly what Danbury does. You take the double play ball out of effect, you put 2 runners in scoring position, and you give one of your best bats now an opportunity to be a leader.
Not only tie the game, but possibly take the lead, but swings right through the high fastball. Christopher's second strikeout of the ball game. Colin Mowry, the victim that time around, and now 2 outs with 2 runners on for Jack Edmonds.
That's a big pitch right there because after the double steal and only 1 out, anything in the air deep enough would score a run. Now the sacrifice fly opportunity's out. Christopher just has to work for 1 out. That could be via the strikeout or let his field make a play.
It is right what you were saying, though. It's really nice to have a power-hitting catcher. Did you guys know, we'll get to the trivia later, but this was trivia based off like 2 weeks ago when I was in Sanford, I believe, as the first pitch catches the top part of the zone for strike 1. No catcher in MLB history has hit 400 career home runs.
Really?
Yeah. Like Mike Piazza is the all-time leader for the position. I think he was at like 395.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah. And it's just such a grueling position behind the dish.
And also, you're not going to play 162 games a year. Or rarely you're going to play 17, 18 years. A lot of those guys, have their peaks. Some guys like Pudge Rodriguez, he played forever. Or, Yogi Berra played for so long. But, a lot of those guys are 10-year guys who maybe play 120, 110 games a year. So I get why. And, again, when, you're catching a 95-degree heat, it's your body it's tough.
Christopher comes set. Pitch home. A fly ball in a deep left center field. Zyrus working back, looking up. It's out of here. A 3-run home run from Jack Edmonds with 2 outs in the top of the second. And Danbury takes the lead 3-1.
Well, Jack Edmonds has earned his spot as a very solid pick-me-up bat in this lineup. comes in as a pinch hitter and delivers big extra base hits. Comes in into the lineup and delivers big extra base hits. A 3-run shot towers over the left field wall. It's exactly what Danbury wanted, exactly what the doctor ordered to jump back in this one.
4 out of his 5 hits entering tonight's matchup were good for extra bases. This his first long ball of the season. We were talking about it. We're expecting some home runs here tonight, and Edmonds gets the party started. A 3-run blast puts Danbury out in front. Now the 9-hitter Noel Rivera just committed to Jacksonville State after his strong year at Marist University in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Broke the Marist stolen base record this year, 27 stolen bags.
Falls behind 0-1. And gives a half-hearted attempt at that one, but goes around nonetheless. No balls, 2 strikes. So Christopher now just trying to escape the inning after giving up the 1-0 lead. Newport will need some more offense to work back here tonight. The 0-2. Called strike 3 right at the knees, catches the low and away corner for out number 3, but Danbury gets themselves on the board, and well, they're in the lead. A 3-run blast from Jack Edmonds. It's a 3-1 ball game as we head to the bottom of the second on NECBL Plus.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. Moment I gotta keep going. I'm shaking the dice and I'm kicking and rolling. They already know.
We are the heartbeat of innovation. The ones who care for your heart as if it were our own. We are challengers who never settle. We are healers who turn fear into hope and the impossible into done. We are at the heart of this community, providing advanced, nationally recognized medicine. We are South Coast Health, Heart and Vascular.
Well, after a rocky first inning from Dan Lang, the Danbury Westerners hand the keys over to Glenn Smith, the right-hander out of Richmond, will aim to keep the lead. For more on the right-hander, Luca Mucciardi.
An 0-3 record on the summer. That ERA up at a 10.43 and just under 15 innings of work, but 11 strikeouts on the season. This will be his 8th appearance. Half of those have been good for starts, and he actually came into the game just last night against the Martha's Vineyard Sharks for the Danbury Westerners. Didn't fare so well. Just went 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 1 run was tallied to his name, so he'll be hoping for a little bit more of an extended outing here at Cardines.
The second most innings out of anybody on the Danbury Westerners, trailing only Cole Gibson, and at least he has some run support to work behind now. It seemed like this might be a game where the Westerners are going to have to play behind after how that Newport offense looked during the bottom of the first inning, but after a 3-run blast courtesy of Jack Edmonds, now some room to work with if you're Glenn Smith. Danbury searching for their first win of the season against the Gulls, thinking possibly 3rd time's the charm after falling short the first 2 times around.
That's always tough, especially when you're 2 teams that you play each other 6 times in the span of 2 months. I mean, now even with the MLB scheduling, you don't play a team in your division 6 times in the span of a month or 2 months. Rarely do you. I know the Yankees just played the Tampa Bay Rays. They're playing them again next week. But it's one of those mental things where it's not even a series. It's 1 game at a time, and you have to say, all right, well, we got to go play them today and then come right back here on Monday in, 5 days' time and play the same team again in front of this same crowd. It's a grueling thing, but that's the beauty of the NECBL at the end of the day.
Cade Brown, the designated hitter tonight, stands on end, batting .286 on the season, recently committed to the University of Central Florida. First pitch breaking ball misses.
Yeah, and this isn't the Gulls' first time seeing Smith. He actually got the start last time on the 19th. He went 2 2/3, let up 6 earned, only struck out 3. So the Gulls got to him last time, but he's got another opportunity, especially here at Cardines, to redeem himself. And that last time, only 5 of the 9 bats in the Gulls lineup tonight were in that lineup. So a whole different slate he's seeing at the plate.
Yeah, this Newport batting lineup altogether, they've had I believe, 16 guys step in the box so far this season and receive consistent playing time. So they really can put a lot of different lineups out there, and we'll see if Smith fares better this time around, but falls behind 3-0 to Brown after the fastball runs inside. Newport trying to work their leadoff man aboard for the second inning in a row, but Brown swings right through the inside fastball for strike one.
And Glenn will stick to that heater on those pitches when he's behind in the zone. Runs about 93. It's exactly where he likes to stay.
The 3-1. Brown taps it foul off of the netting. Stadionic, the official netting and facility partner of the New England League, and Stadionic's netting, wall padding, and facility solutions have been featured in Major League Baseball venues like Luca Mucciardi's own Citi Field, home of the New York Mets, and Truist Park, home of the Atlanta Braves, as well as collegiate facilities throughout the entire country, including Florida, North Carolina, Clemson, and Texas. Brown now shoots one foul the other way, so we'll do the 3-2 again in just a moment. Texas and many more. From design to fabrication to installation, Stadionic is making sports facilities iconic. The netting down both the left and right field line at historic Cardines Field. Cade Brown rips one left side, but just barely foul, almost catching the chalk. Instead, we'll do the third consecutive 3-2.
You think when they built this place there was netting?
Probably not. I don't know how long Stadionic's been around for, but
you think this cage was even as tall as it is in front of us?
I think for a place that hasn't seen a lot of redoing to it, they haven't really changed anything about this place. The netting is one key addition. The 3-2 breaking ball gets away and is ball four to Cade Brown. So the leadoff man works his way on for the second consecutive inning in Newport.
But isn't that kind of the beauty of, especially this league, this summer baseball, and Newport in general? It's an old school ballpark, an old school environment.
Oh,
but
definitely.
You feel like you're right on top of the action, whether you're a fan, whether you're broadcasting the game, whether you're a player in the hockey-style dugouts right next to each other. It's got its quirks that make it what it is.
Seriously, I feel like when we're in the broadcast booth, we'll get a foul ball shot back at us every once in a while. It keeps me on my toes.
I got made fun of the other day for putting my hand up when a foul ball almost hit me. It hit the netting in front of the booth out in Ocean State, and I put my hand up, and I get back on the bus, and Noel Rivera goes, "Dude, there's a net in front of you. What are you doing?"
We almost, when I was at in Holyoke, Mass, we were facing the Valley Blue Sox. I was in the booth with our good friend AJ Gonsalves, and a ball came up back towards us, and that press box is really pushed back and nicked the roof. If it hadn't nicked the roof, my hand was right. In my head, I know I would have caught it. I was right there. I was dialed in. Would have had the first catch on air, I think, in any CBL history. Cole Johnson now, a fly ball in a deep right center field, working back towards the ivy, and it's down off the wall. Cade Brown is going to round third. He'll score. It's a 3-2 ball game. Cole Johnson with an extra base hit to drive in one. I was just about to say his parents, his dad, threw out the first pitch before the ball game, and get to see his son hit a deep fly ball to the furthest part of the right side of the ballpark, that 348 sign right next to the ivy out in right center field. And Newport now has scored in back-to-back innings.
Yeah, that's such a fine piece of hitting right there. I love seeing a right-handed hitter, especially at Cardines, use that alley, go the opposite way, wait on a pitch, be very patient, and hit a line drive. That was a beautiful piece of hitting. Actually hit the left side of the ivy, then bounced into it, but just beautiful piece of hitting. Way to come back after, the 3-run top of the second.
And that's one of those things that I know Luis Lopez on the Danbury coaching staff loves to preach, especially for the right-handed hitters. Facing righty pitching, hit inside out. If you can drive it out into those gaps in right center, it gives you the best chance to try to move those runners over, to try to get yourself into those extra base situations. It's just perfectly executed from Cole Johnson. And get your seatbelts ready, because this one's been a fun one so far.
Both 8 hitters. First, Jack Edmonds with a 3-run home run in the top of the second. The 8 hitter for Newport, and Cole Johnson with an RBI double. Well, these two teams are opponents on the field. Their biggest opponent in the booth right now has to be the wind. The gusts are knocking my papers all over the place.
All over the place.
The 1-0 pitch into Caden Cloud is a breaking ball that misses low and away. So Glenn Smith facing some troubles similar to Dan Lang, who got the start, just went one inning.
I like to think I have a little bit of courage. I want to be as courageous as that seagull that's saying, I'm going to sit right in the shallow outfield with the way the ball's been flying off the bats.
Caden Cloud, a deep fly ball in a center field. Stern working on back, makes the catch. Johnson will tag. The throw into third will be cut off on the bounce. Our friendly Siegel flying out of the way over in left.
Listen, he's the extra cutoff man. You see that? He's moving over.
He was
He's
lined
giving
up
Donahue the
perfectly.
space. He's giving Donahue the space and saying, if it's behind you, I got it.
A good backup. The goals helping out the Westerners. Stern has worked deep back against the wall now twice. Caden Cloud and Braxton Trammell's fly balls. A lot of air underneath them, and they just kept on carrying. I'm telling you, you can expect a couple more long balls to head our way here tonight. Back to the top of the order, and Devin Zyrus. The tying run stands at third. The first pitch down low below the knees.
Yeah, with that 3-2 lead, they're not going to bring the middle infielders in. They're going to let them score that run on anything up the middle, but anything to the corners, there'll be a plate at the plate if Johnson even tries to test it.
Zyrus swings through the 1-0, 1 ball and 1 strike. 0 for 0 on the day. Was a 4-pitch walk his first time around. He later came around to score just 1 batter later off the bat of Tristan Salinas. The 1-1. Inside for ball 2. Smith kicks and deals and misses low and away for ball 3. Has recorded 1 out off the fly ball from Caden Cloud. But definitely some early struggles during his first inning of work of relief. The 3-1 on the outer third as the count runs full. Zyrus began taking just a step or two towards the first base bag, but steps back in for the payoff pitch. Cole Johnson stands over at third. The 3-2 inside and low. So Zyrus works the walk. Runners on the corners now for Tristan Salinas, who roped one to deep center field his last time around over the head of Stern. And before they face the lefty for the second time, we might have a pitching change for Danbury, a meeting on the mound.
I'm a no pitching coach on this staff for Danbury. Connor Farrell was the pitching coach for 2 years before he became the head coach. So he said, I'll do those duties myself. Wants to go and have a chat with his righty, Glenn Smith, and see if he can just settle the nerves. You put that runner on first, yes, but you are, again, a ground ball potentially away from getting yourself out of this inning.
Coach Farrell heads back to the dugout, so they'll be sticking with Smith. And another RBI opportunity for Tristan Salinas.
Yeah, and Salinas has Zyrus on first base, who leads the team with 7 stolen bases and a first and third situation. So first pitch, he might be taken off here, either a hit and run opportunity, or if he gets to second, get 2 runners in scoring position. So
Zyrus had taken off on that RBI double. He had some early momentum. First pitch into Salinas, misses inside for ball 1. And Salinas has just done a much better job over the past week and a half of opening up to the entire field. He was straight pull the beginning of the season, everything sticking right of the second baseman, but as of late, he's been going the other way, but he shoots one right side, stepping on the first base bag, and then throwing to second is Kyle Garbowski. An inning-ending double play, and Cole Johnson not scoring in time. An elite defensive play by Kyle Garbowski ends the bottom of the second. A 1-run lead for the Danbury Westerners. 3-2 our score on NECBL Plus. offense on both sides of things, but a key defensive play from Kyle Garbowski is how the second inning comes to a close. It was a ground ball right towards the first base bag. He stepped on first to get the force out and then delivers a strike to Noel Rivera at second, who applied the tag to Devin Zyrus as they escape the jam. Just a stand-up play by the first baseman.
And it took a tough hop in front of him as well. Almost had to make the scoop and step on the bag, but then also when you throw to first, now Rivera has to be able to catch that and apply the tag because the force is taken away. Does a great job, sticks the glove right in front of the second base bag and puts it right on the foot of the runner for a double play.
Yeah, that's one we always practice at all levels. For Garbowski, anything hit to his left side, he has to go with it. So he's going to get the ball, tap the bag, and throw anything to your right side. You usually go two right there. So just a perfect opportunity. And you said you got to put on a good throw. He put it low, so it's a catch and tag. The glove's already low. You don't have to come from, head level and apply the tag. So really good execution right there. And they beat the base runner, no run. So way to get out of it.
Well, as you just saw in the bullpen moments ago, Victor Frederick out of St. John's up and moving around. Mason Christopher surrendered 3 runs in the top of the second, all via the 3-run home run from Jack Edmonds. It's the top of the order, and Stern, Garbowski, and Ronan Donahue due up for the Westerners. They went 1-2-3 in the first. First pitch in, misses outside, 1-0.
And Stern is one of the speediest guys on this Danbury team. I want to see how quick he is on the base paths after the ground he's already had to cover out in center field in this ball game. Has had to move back on a couple of deep fly balls already.
Yeah, I wish we had a stat track on the distance he's already had to cover. So he gives a half-hearted attempt for strike one.
It's like when you're watching the World Cup and you see the little heat map of what the center mids or the wingers are running during a game.
1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch home from Christopher. Stern swings straight through it for strike 2. I know you as a Knicks fan, Miles Bridges always playing 82 games in a year. They'll always say like how many miles he runs over the course of a season, and it's some absurd number.
It's insane how he doesn't miss a game. I don't understand it.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Christopher kicks and deals. Misses in the dirt. Count even at deuces.
Speaking of that Miles NBA stat, they always talk about how many miles LeBron's run in his career, and obviously he's the hot name right now. Not going back to the Lakers, so his career's just been unbelievable. 21 years or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think it's 23, right?
23,
yeah.
23. 2002?
Yeah, that sounds right. And strike 3 looking on the outer third. Stern goes down. His first strikeout of the day. The 4th in the K column for Mason Christopher. As he tries to settle back in during his 3rd inning of work. You can already tell if you're the Newport pitching staff, you're going to have some offensive support here tonight. And in the end for Danbury, you were 1 pitch away from getting out of that inning with 2 outs. Instead, it ends up being the 3-run homer. And I think if you're Mason Christopher in this bullpen, you can't really look all too much into it. You just have to keep going with what we've seen lately. A line drive right side, through into the outfield grass for a base hit. A hard line drive off the bat of Kyle Garbowski, who had the defensive play to end last inning, stays hot at the plate with his first single of the ball game, his first hit of the ball game, and another base runner for Danbury in the top of the 3rd.
And breaking ball that sits middle. He's able to just pull it through the 3-4 hole, I should say, into right field for a single. But if you're Danbury, you remember what happened last time here at Cardines. It was one of these kind of blow-for-blow games. Newport ended up going out to a substantial lead. Danbury fought their way back in to 10-6, and that ended up being your final score. You don't want to get into another one of those boxing matches here offensively. You want to find some type of insurance, if you can, with the way Newport's been able to score at a heavy clip.
I think it's going to be a battle of which pitching staff can get the other team to throw up some zeros on that scoreboard, a couple of goose eggs, and really just settle in and give their offense the chance to open things up. And when you're pitching with a lead, obviously you're more comfortable out there. And even with a 1-run lead, Danbury's pitching staff has to feel as if they're in a better spot. A ground ball right side. Salinas has it on a hop. Throw to second for 1. Cloud spinning. Throw to first. Not in time. A leaping grab from Larson, but just a little too late. Would have been quite the highlight reel play here in Newport. Salinas, that took a nasty hop out off of the lip.
I mean, that thing even fooled me, had me jumping in my seat a little bit. I thought it was going to bounce out over his head, but Salinas stays
I
with
figured
it.
he was just going to take the easy throw to
Right.
first. He still tried to get the double play, and then Cloud with a 360, a little too high, and I think he would have beat it out nonetheless. Ronan Donahue running down the line. Jack Ludy now.
I don't know if I have the hand-eye coordination for something like that. I feel like I'd freak out if I saw that take a hop at me upstairs.
Yeah, you just got to have those quick reflexes.
Right.
It's the hand-eye coordination that sets these players apart from everybody else. Christopher's pickoff towards the first base bag. Not in time. Donahue in standing up.
Yeah, it's not the first time Cloud's done that, and I'm not a big fan of it. I'm surprised Coach Coombs hasn't said something when you're throwing it to first and you know there's no shot at the play. That took a bad hop, and he had to turn around. There was just no shot at double play right there. If that ball goes over Larson's head, goes out of play, then he get an extra base.
Ground ball right side. Larson has it, practically standing on the bag, and they'll call it foul. Coombs is going to make his way out. About as sure as a third out that you could get if you're Newport. Hard to tell on the replay.
Well, the first base umpire called it fair, and the home umpire called it foul, so now it's deliberation between Jake Brishta and Joe Gravina.
Pretty sure first base umpire has priority on that call.
I believe so.
I believe it's his call, but we've seen multiple times in this league, an umpire, it's not his call, comes in and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So
the ruled a foul ball. So Jack Ludy will get another chance. Now, as much of a surefire third out that you could have, Larson was practically standing on the first base bag while fielding it. And this right field line, in terms of foul and fair, just has been quite the enemy for Newport so far this week. We talked about Tristan Salinas' overturned home run on Monday. And now the Danbury Westerners getting an extra chance with 2 outs and a runner on.
Well, it's just so unique. We've said the word unique so many times, but you look at it right field and you're an umpire trying to call a home run. It's like, well, did it go over the warehouse or did it go over the net?
Right. Yeah. How far out do I have to step from behind the plate to see if that went down the line?
And plus the wind, with the way that it can really push the baseball in every which way direction, it's hard to tell on a ball in the air where it crosses the fence. Coach Coombs trying to give his side of the story.
A real nooks and crannies park here, but
and in a professional stadium, not to interrupt you, there's usually fans out there. So
right.
if you see a fan catch it and there's a huge yellow foul pole, it's easy to call at these amateur fields.
Or at least even with Salinas', you have the netting above the fence, so if you saw it go into the netting, but he hit it over, which I think is what made that call so hard to make. Coach Coombs, I think he must have the longest streak of being out on the field during a ball game.
I was going to say, I feel like every time these two teams meet up, I see Coach Coombs out there.
The last time you were here, Coach Coombs was out on the field.
for a hot second. We have to mic him up.
Yes.
We have to mic him up for one of these games. I don't know if half the words he says can be put on the broadcast, but
we'll have to monitor him a little bit. So 1 ball and 1 strike after the deliberation. Ludy gets a second chance in the left-handed batter's box. Lefty on lefty. Christopher deals another ground ball right side, but this one a couple of feet foul. So now 1-2. Mason Christopher seeking his 5th strikeout through his first 3 innings. Already over 50 pitches, 52 to be exact. 28 of them good for strikes. The 1-2. Outside. Count even at 2s.
And Ludy a pure power hitter, and he'll pull everything down the left-hand side. So you'll see that Newport outfield shift just a little bit more to the right than usual.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuce is wild with 2 outs. Misses the low and away corner, so the count runs full. Ronan Donahue will have the slight head start over at the first base bag. Of course, with a lefty on the mound, he'll have to wait that extra tick to make sure Christopher makes his move towards home plate, but he'll have some momentum to him as well. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The breaking ball low and inside, and Jack Ludy comes up empty-handed. The 5th strikeout of the ball game for Mason Christopher is how the top of the 3rd comes to a close. A 3-2 ball game in favor of Danbury. More on the other side.
What makes a great team hat? It starts with a Z. For decades, Zephyr has been making the most iconic headwear in the game, trusted by teams, colleges, and pros. We cut out the middlemen and work directly with our manufacturers, so you get top quality, fast turnaround, and prices that make sense. From bold designs to unbeatable fit, Zephyr hats are built to match the quality of your team, right down to the last stitch. Zephyr Team Headwear, born from experience, built for teams that stand out.
Welcome back to Cardines Field. I'm Alina Aubin, and one of Newport's biggest strengths this season is the depth in left-handed pitching. With 7 lefties on the roster, Newport has plenty of options from the bullpen, with the coaching staff being able to pick many players and being able to do that. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Adelina. Talking about the Newport pitching, who's looked really strong as of late. The shutout victory over the Upper Valley Nighthawks on Tuesday. On Monday, a 3-2 win against Sanford, and in about a half a week where the offensive production hasn't fully been there, the pitching has continued to keep this win streak alive, now at 8 games, but they've fallen behind early against the Danbury Westerners, 3-4-5, due up in the bottom of the third. Colby Wallace, Brandon Larson, and Peter Mershon. I know being here in Rhode Island, sitting next to you, Matt Clements, we have a lot of Boston fans, and right before first pitch, you had Jalen Brown getting traded away from the Celtics over to the 76ers in return for Paul George and a plethora of picks as Wallace pops one up right side. Donahue underneath it, makes the catch for the first out of the inning. How do you feel about the trade now?
I don't like it right now, but Brad Stevens has worked wonders for the Celtics over the years, and a lot of stuff's worked out. So as of right now, I'm not happy with it. He's a Boston legend, Jalen Brown. Finals MVP in 2024. Was really the whole team last year when Tatum was out. So I think it's almost not only the trade itself, but it's a backstabbing to a guy who's been here since 2017, 2016, and has given, I believe, so much to the city.
Larson shoots one the other way. A diving stop from Rivera, but he comes up empty-handed. So a one-out single for Brandon Larson. I think you're right. It was a tough dynamic, obviously, with Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. Larson shooting one the other way, threw into the left field grass. But I think you could tell when they were shopping him for Giannis that the locker room was going to be a little messed up coming back after that. So Brad Stevens choosing to make a move. I would expect they're not done yet.
I think they get 2 firsts and 2 seconds along with Paul George and that. And those 2 firsts I found out are not the first that the 76ers got from the Clippers. They are the Sixers' own first-round picks.
Mershon left side. Rivera has it. Throw to second for 1. Over to first, not in time. A 6-4 fielder's choice for out 2. Whose picks were they? The
76ers have a plethora of picks.
Yeah,
some of those coming from the Los Angeles Clippers. But the picks that were traded were not the Clippers' picks that the Sixers had originally gotten. They were their own.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to be based on how well the Sixers
which
do
I think
this
are
season.
actually less valuable.
They are less valuable than the Clippers
because the
picks.
76ers you would have to expect to be pretty good now with that big 3 of Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brown, and Joel Embiid. First pitch to Trammell, misses down low. No ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Trammell had a deep fly out to center field. Had Stern all the way back at the wall his first time around, so 0 for 1 on the day. 1 man on with 2 outs. Another fly ball into center field, this one far more shallow. Stern working in, Donahue working back, and the second baseman makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So Newport leaves just 1 man aboard, but no runs come in the bottom of the 3rd. A 3-2 lead for Danbury as we head to the middle innings on NECBL Plus.
Back for the top of the fourth, and more with the new man on the mound for the Newport Gulls. I'll send it over to my partner, Harry.
Well, it's going to be Victor Frederick making just his second appearance on the season, both of his first one being out of the bullpen, 2 innings pitched, allowed just 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks to 3 strikeouts, 143 batting average against. He was a crucial arm for the Johnnies during their run all the way to the Super Regionals. A huge upset in Tallahassee now just about a month ago where they beat the Florida State Seminoles not once but twice. I know you like to hear that, Luca Mucciardi, anytime one of the Florida rivals gets handed a big loss.
That one makes me a little bit happier, especially because it happened the week after, just about 10 days after Miami got swept up in Tallahassee by the Florida State Seminoles. So helped a little bit, but that St. John's team went not just on a run there, but then went into Tuscaloosa, played Alabama tough, ended up losing in 2 games in the Super Regionals, but a fantastic season for them. And now Frederick looking to build up on that this summer and continue to improve during his collegiate time.
And speaking of St. John's, one of the Frederickson's catcher, Adam Agresti, was a goal last year.
Yeah.
He came in around this time actually, started July of 2025. He was absolutely phenomenal. Great player in the NECBL last year. Might have been up for MVP if he was there the whole year, but he had a phenomenal year in the Super Regional the whole year at St. John's. And, he's really a scout for a bunch of MLB teams.
You got to say, the Big East, you start to realize the more and more you look into it, it's not a baseball conference per se, but then you find some of these guys. St. John's, very solid team. Of course, the NECBL, UConn, very well represented. There's a lot of very talented baseball players that you end up seeing making the jump to the Power 4 level later on.
Well, yeah, if you're Newport today, it's one Big East arm to the other. Of course,
right.
Mason Christopher out of Seton Hall finished his day with 3 innings pitched, gave up the 3 earned runs off of 3 hits, 1 walk to 5 strikeouts.
So after the tall lefty, they'll switch to a right-handed man on the mound, and he'll face a righty at the dish, and Gavin Donahue had a double back in the second. He ended up coming around the score on the Jack Edmonds 3-run home run. Donahue, Delph, Mowry do up for the Westerners here in the 4th. Frederick skips the first pitch, low for ball 1.
Yeah, and if you're Newport after the first half inning where Danbury held you scoreless, you want to try and keep this game right where it's at and get the bats back up so they can do their thing.
And if you're Danbury on the other side of things, you're saying, well, let's see if we can jump on a new arm early as that misses low and in for ball 2. Extend what is now a 3-2 lead as these two sides exchange blows coming into this one. Well, the guys on the field might not be relaxed. They look pretty relaxed in the lounge chairs, on the rocking chairs.
Yeah, that's the best seat in the house. They raffle that off at
Is that what that
Cardines.
is?
Yeah, it's a raffle to get those 2 rocking chairs.
Out in Danbury, the bullpen discovered that they have a kind of large surplus of lawn chairs. So they started putting them out in the bullpen, and every game they sit closer and closer to the foul line as Donahue tips that into the glove for strike 2.
Well, you can't get any closer to the foul line than at Cardines right now. With those bullpens.
It's about that distance.
We see the pitchers every once in a while, they work too close and they realize the ball's in play and they got to jump out of the way. And really anything you shoot down that left field line could end up being a ground rule double if it gets into the bullpen territory.
2-2. Fan and a miss on the off speed. And that's the first out of the 4th inning.
Newport's a team that racks up a whole lot of strikeouts on the pitching side of things, to say the least. You look at the numbers, and 244 strikeouts to the pitching staff's name entering tonight's matchup. That was 39 ahead of the Bristol Blues, who were in second. Fanning batters left and right, picked up 20 Ks on Monday, 10 of those courtesy of Maddox Miller.
As Michael Delph steps in, first pitch, that's hit towards short, Cloud on a glove. Throw the first, that's just in time, and there's quickly 2 away. And to that point of the strikeouts, but then you look at, on the offensive side of things, Danbury has the 3rd least strikeouts in the league. 183 coming into tonight's action.
Really? Yeah, that's
now down to 5
looking
today.
At the stat now. A team that puts a lot of balls in play.
Well, Delph pulling in play there. Cloud made the play. And there's 2 away for Callan Mowry, the captain. A backstop out of Louisville. First pitch off speed right down Broadway for strike 1.
Beautiful breaking ball just to begin the at-bat. Something that Maury might not be looking for, typically looking for the first pitch fastball, and just surprise him with the breaking ball and get ahead early.
Some fans out there beyond center field. Maury hits one back toward Cloud at short. Similar play as to the one he just made. The throw a tad high, but keeping his foot planted on the ground is Larson, and that's a 1-2-3 4th inning for Newport. They'll go back to work offensively, looking to tie this one up. Westerners 3, Gulls 2. Here on NECBL Plus.
Most people spend their time trying to fit in. Not me. I want to be all in. I want to be in too deep, in the moment, in the center of it all, in the room where it happens. In it to make a difference every single moment of every single day. So grit your teeth and smile. Be ready to take on adversity. Be ready to transform the world. Ready for whatever life has in store. So, you in?
The motoring event of the year returns, the All-Drain Newport Concours and Motor Week, October 1st through 4th. Witness breathtaking automobiles against the stunning backdrop of coastline and historic venues. From celebrated events like the Gathering and Concours d'Elegance to the all-new Supercar and Hypercar Concours, and free access to the Concours Village. There's something for all to enjoy. Join us in our Chair Jay Leno in celebrating automotive excellence, luxury, and community. Tickets on.
Beautiful sunsets out here in Newport. You can't get much better while the rest of the Northeast is going through this so-called heat wave. We're nice and cool here in the press box for now.
The breeze has been really nice. I'm dreading Friday a little bit. I mean, it'll be a packed house at Cardine, so of course I'm looking forward to it, but it's supposed to be 92, 93, and of course when we're home we gotta rock the suit jacket and the pants, so we'll see if I survive that one. I'll have to bring a couple extra waters, maybe some popsicles or something to keep me cool. But yeah, beautiful day.
I heard you doing an ice cream review the other day.
Yes.
You might have to bring that one back for
Seriously.
a hot day on Friday. But you're in that time of the night, 7:45, and
aren't you just excited for the 4th?
Oh, I love the 4th. That's
awesome.
It's one of my favorite holidays. It's the scene from The Sandlot when they say the 4th of July is the only day of the summer you can play a night game.
Yeah.
Because the fireworks light up the sky. Well, my friends and I at home, I have a basketball hoop in the driveway. I've had it for about 12 years, so I'd have everybody over, and we'd play a massive 3-on-3 tournament in the front yard under the fireworks. I stink at basketball, but some of the best memories I've had in my younger summers.
Yeah, such a fun. When you're at the barbecue, what's your go-to?
Oh man, see, I don't really know because I'm the one usually doing the barbecue.
Yeah, fair.
I like to be man in the grill, but I'm
some burgers. Some
I'm
dogs.
a classic hot dog guy.
There you
I'm
go.
a classic hot dog guy.
Had a hot dog before the game.
I did.
How was the Donnie dog?
I was a fan. That was a solid hot dog. First pitch swinging for Cade Brown for strike one.
Could hear Mikey Basile clapping
Somebody
in our
was
ears
happy
from the
saying
dungeon. He's a big Donnie dog fan.
Listen, man, a solid hot dog is important at a ball game. I'll stand by that. A couple things that every ballpark needs to have right. I feel like a hot dog's one of them. A lemonade, which I also had. Lemonade was pretty good. Maybe I'm just a New Yorker, but I say sausage and peppers is a must. And this is the first ballpark in the NECBL I saw that had that even on the menu.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Sausage and peppers is a good sausage and peppers is
right?
above everything
That's
else.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, while we're talking about food and making me hungry for the trip back, it's 1-2 to Cade Brown, who walked his first time up. Smith deals home. Curveball chopped the third. That's Ronan Donahue with it. Throw across in time for the first out.
Glenn Smith really settling into things during his now third inning of work. He looked really shaky to start, but held Newport scoreless in the home half of the third, trying to replicate that in the home half of the fourth. But Cole Johnson, if you remember his last time around, had that double into deep right center field off of Smith.
And an inside-out looper toward the ivy. That made this a 3-2 ball game. Smith will drop the curveball in there for strike one. An arm up in the Newport bullpen.
David McSweeney out of Northeastern. The next man up for Newport, depending on how long Victor Frederick can go.
Fastball misses low and in from Smith. Tried for the back door. Maybe a spot start situation. You get your 3 innings out of Mason Christopher, and then you tell the bullpen, all right, go win this game for us and limit the damage. Danbury doing the opposite, a more extended offering of Glenn Smith, who hits a curveball, and that one caught Mowry a little bit worse
I think
for wear.
Cole Johnson's bat head might have caught the mask of Mowry. Appears to be okay, but
that's really a rare thing that happens right there. He might have been off balance, Mowry, because it was an off-speed pitch. Might have been leaning forward, and then the bat might have came around the back, literally on the backswing. So that's.
You also just have the long frame of Johnson. His backswing stretches back a little bit further.
6'5" junior out of Austin P. Well, this one was about 6'2" up there, ran him by the face, but it's upstairs for ball 2.
I don't think it was anything malicious from Johnson at all.
No, I think he
Kinda
just
a
missed
natural
upstairs.
part. Mowry put the mask back on really quick, so.
Deuce is wild. Fly ball, shallow center field. Stern moves in, but it's Gavin Donahue with the grab, and there's quickly 2 away.
Seen the second baseman make 3 catches on the outfield grass already today.
And they've both come in the last inning and 2/3. Well, with 7, 8, 9 due up in this Newport order, Caden Cloud will be that 9-hole hitter.
Yeah, if you're Newport, you just want to – you don't want the offense to fall asleep completely and have to completely wake back up. You want to just keep some level of consistency.
Right, even if you're not scoring, you're putting men on base, you're keeping that momentum within your favor.
Yeah, cause as much constant pressure as possible, create those opportunities with runners in scoring position so you're not forced to really cash in on them every time. You can come up empty-handed some innings and still find a way to put runs on the scoreboard.
Smith behind 1-0. And retreats with the fastball, middle away to even things up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, Smith really pitching for contact right now. He's faced 11 batters, walked 2 of them. The other 9 have put the ball in play. Right. No strikeouts through 11 batters, so really being efficient in a sense, keeping that pitch count down, and this innings helped him.
Goes right back to the fastball, keeps that middle, and has strike 2. You're right, just pitching right into the zone after issuing those 2 walks, trying to trust his guys behind him to make the play defensively should bat be put on ball. The 0-2. Hit the other way. That's down into right center, and it'll get all the way down to the gap for extra bases. Cloud rounding first, heading the second. The throw is nowhere near in time. A 2-out standout double for the Kentucky Wildcat.
And if there's one word to describe Caden Cloud and the swing we just saw, it's smooth. Putting a line drive right over the head of the second baseman, Gavin Donahue, going the other way, and just the way that he moves around the bases, coasting into second and creating that pressure that we were just talking about. Even with 2 outs, it puts a man in scoring position for a dangerous bat in Devin Zyrus. And if you're Newport, just trying to draw even as soon as possible.
And you get that opportunity. Caden Cloud extends the getting with a good piece of hitting. You bring up a man who's been on base twice today, both via the free pass, and Devin Zyrus, who watches the first pitch go by for strike 1.
Guy that's walked already twice today. Someone that, if you're Danbury, might be a little scared to pitch to when you look at his offensive numbers on the season.
That one misses low and in. Mowry loses it, and Cloud's going to be able to advance to third on the trapped ball. It looked like that ball got stuck maybe under the mask of Mowry as it came off his head.
Yes, they say, some of the catchers say the hardest ball to keep track of is the one right at your feet. You're standing up, you're looking around, and then you realize it's right in front of you. Cloud takes advantage and advances the 90 over to third.
So now the tying run 90 feet away. 1-1 pitch comes home. Inside out to the netting, and that's foul for strike 2.
It's definitely a fun time of year across the NECBL also with the holiday. You have a lot of families coming in. We had the families throwing out the first pitch before the game, and a lot of the guys saying their parents or entire families are coming down for the weekend. Coming up, I should say, in most cases.
1-2, no chance outside. I know last time Danbury was up here, your family was in the building for the game.
My mom and brother made it.
Fun time.
Got to shout out my parents celebrating their 26th anniversary today.
Congratulations. That's incredible.
It's a long time.
2-2, chop back to Smith. He's got it in the glove. Knee on their hand, toss the first. That's in time, and we'll retire the side, and one more time we'll say congratulations to the Tidgewells on 26 years.
They'll appreciate it.
We'll head to the 5th here. 3-2 Gulls lead here on NECBL.
Every pitch, every hit, every moment that matters. From youth baseball to the professional leagues, this is where the next generation of players takes the field. The passion, the intensity, the pursuit of greatness. From future stars to unforgettable moments, every game tells a story, live and on demand all season long. Watch the future of the game unfold. Watch on HomeTeamLive.com.
Fifth inning of action between the Newport Gulls and the Danbury Westerners, and after an inning of relief from Victor Frederick, the Newport Gulls will turn to arm number 3 on the day. And with more on David McSweeney, here's Harry Tidwell.
Yeah, the first lefty for the ball game for the Newport Gulls hails from Northeastern, making his 4th appearances, all of them out of the bullpen, a 6.35 ERA across just under 6 innings of work. He surrendered 4 earned runs off of 6 hits, 1 walk to 8 strikeouts. Limiting those free passes has been a main focus for Newport so far this season. We mentioned the high K numbers that they've racked up so far this season, but they've also done a good job of limiting those free passes altogether. And McSweeney, another one of those guys that loves to pepper the zone, and Danbury will definitely have some pitches to hit. The question is, what are they going to do with them?
He'll face the bottom portion of this Danbury order, Edmonds, Rivera, and then the flip back to the top of Aiden Stern. But tough company induced Jack Edmonds, who hit that 3-run home run back in the second inning that has given Danbury what is now a 3-2 lead. McSweeney coming off a year where he went 2-1 as a Northeastern Husky with a 4.19 ERA in his 16 appearances. You mentioned the strikeout numbers, 27 punchies in 34 innings of work, and he'll be looking to try to continue upon some of those numbers here in the bottom of the 5th.
And one thing I just picked up on, we had the camera on one of the umpires. I think they have microphones.
They do. I noticed that.
That's very interesting.
You don't see that too often, I feel like, in the NECBL.
Yeah, maybe they're just chatting it up during the games. I mean, those first and third base umpires get a little lonely.
Yeah, he's got the little microphone. He's got the that's like the 2000s like pop star microphone type
yeah.
of thing, right? Like the early Justin
One Direction
Bieber
or something.
Like,
yeah, Justin Bieber.
Is he going to do some dancing too?
I just saw I'm not a big hockey guy, but I was watching the NHL draft, and Bieber made the first
pick. Yeah, for Gavin McKenna going to Toronto.
Yeah, what is this, like 2014?
Bieber still got a lot of fame. Yeah, that was
Didn't he
Coachella.
like headline Coachella? Yeah. Oh, one.
His I don't know if it's his wife or his fiance, just had some big makeup thing that she had
his
here
wife,
in Newport.
Yeah. Shop, yeah.
Haley Bieber.
Lines were like 8 hours long.
Yeah, really? I know. It was super crowded, and I was like, what's going on? And someone was like, Haley Bieber, something. I heard it a little bit. I forget what it was all about. But
you didn't go check it out?
I didn't go check it out, but I saw the line.
0-2 swing and a miss. 3-pitch strikeout to kick off McSweeney's day.
Yeah. Throw from Mershon going over the head of Trammell over at first, but a good job by McSweeney just settling in, not wasting really any pitches to Edmonds, attacking the zone early, and that's exactly what you want to see out of another arm out of the bullpen. Newport, this being their 3rd out of 6 games for the week, so you can't afford to lose too many guys here tonight. I think they can expect McSweeney to try and eat up a lot of these middle innings.
A tough schedule in the NECBL, especially when you get into July. This is a flare the opposite way. Foul right toward the warehouse. Larson gives chase, and it'll get away just in front of the concession stands where I had that hot dog a couple hours ago.
Yeah, for the Westerners lineup right here, especially when it gets to the point that batted last inning, it's a big difference. This left-handed arm angle, it's almost submarine style, just a bit above. You're coming against, McSweeney. Frederick was throwing right-handed above, so 2 different arm angles right here. And even Christopher, the starter, was a lefty who was releasing it high.
Right.
So you're seeing a lot of change on the mound, and I think Frederick really started hot with the quick strikeout.
And then arm angle is one of the first things I noticed as well out of McSweeney. A little bit drops it more down to the side, so more of a whipping action than that straight overhead. Pulled down the line, and that one just skirts left of the bag. What is that, another ball chasing the chalk down toward the bullpens?
Yeah, because you have that wall that works about halfway down the left field line in the outfield grass. Sometimes you get a kick off the wall that really helps out the left fielder
Yep.
because it bounces right back to him, and it can be just a hard-hit single, but other times it gets into the bullpen.
1-2 misses low and away. It's
A good pitch, but an even better take by Rivera, not willing to chase and works the count even.
And has a little chat with Jake Brishta, the home plate umpire, says that one's down on the way, just making sure. Want to know what the zone is.
Love to see fastball here.
Do too. Hit the short, Cloud moves in, throws the first, and that's in time.
Busy day for Caden Cloud. Made 2 plays last inning and another one in the top of the 5th. This looked really smooth. I know I mentioned it when he hit that double. That's just sort of the way he moves around the diamond, but another just routine play that he gobbles up and delivers a strike over to Larson.
So now the hands battle shifts lefty-lefty with Aiden Stern digging in. 0 for 2 today. He's 0 for his last 6. Went 0 for 4 yesterday with 3 strikeouts against Martha's Vineyard. Shows bunt, pulls back for ball 1. But then when you look back at what he did against Ocean State on the 28th, went 2 for 2 with 2 singles, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch. Was on base all 5 times.
And someone that can just wreak havoc on the base pass. I think he's really similar to a guy I watch suiting up for Newport every day, and Gus Gandy, who offers a little bit of everything, really strong in the field as well. And when he's able to just work his way on and run around those bases and let the guys behind him do a lot of the heavy lifting offensively, that's when he's at his best. But yet to work his way on so far here today. But Danbury, looking for some insurance, could really use a base runner here with 2 outs.
1 ball, 1 strike. McSweeney comes home. That went into the netting again. Foul for strike 2. Westerners down to their final strike here in the 5th. The Jack Edmonds 3-run home run has been their only spark of offense so far, but it's been enough to hold on to this 1-run lead. Dead middle of this ball game. 1-2. Rung him up for strike 3. The second backwards K and as many at-bats for Aiden Stern, and a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th. We'll head to the home half, and the Gulls will go back to work.
Stadionic's primary goal is to maximize fan safety and amplify the fan experience so that you or your client get exactly what you envision.
Welcome into beautiful Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It's downright gorgeous.
The YMCA in full effect out here in Newport. The interns, the mascots, everyone's getting involved and having a good time on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Having a good time up here in the booth as well. It's been a fun ball game. The Westerners out in front 3-2. And Glenn Smith back out there, 4th inning of relief.
Moving really quickly, to say the least. I know we're approaching at the halfway mark, and we're only an hour and a half, not even an hour and a half into things. Oh, my. Tragic news. The co-rider of the YMCA just passed away at the age of 74, Victor Willis.
Yeah, that was earlier today. Lead singer of this band, too. This is him singing right now.
I did not know that.
It's a little homage to him by the Newport operations staff. And this is a song that's just a classic. It gets you going.
Oh, it's an all-timer.
Every time. It brings me back to the Just Dance days. I don't know if you guys had the Wii.
Yeah.
Yep.
But with the Just Dance, this is like my favorite song to go to.
A great tune, and the Gulls will hope that gives them a little bit of energy going into the 5th. They trail by 1, and it'll be 2, 3, 4 in the order. The danger bats of Salinas, Wallace, and Larson.
Salinas has the double today. Trying to find another way on base so Newport can tie things up, possibly even take the lead. It gets late early in these summer baseball games, and Newport scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, but 2 scoreless frames since. Trying to change that here.
1-0 curveball is in there for strike one. You know, during the middle of the inning, they were doing some of the promotions like the dancing. They do the contest here of the furthest traveled fan. Somebody said they were actually from Bosnia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I picked up on that one.
Okay.
They're doing. Like to say that game is kicked off, Bosnia and the USA. So.
Yeah, because I knew they also mentioned Cole Johnson's dad is from South Africa. Cole Johnson was born in South Africa, I believe.
Really?
Yes, and also lived in England for a little bit. So he's really been all over the country, and now lives in Texas, which is how fitting for a guy that stands at 6'5", 230.
1-2, well upstairs. So they say everything's bigger in Texas. So.
Seriously.
They're baseball players included, I guess.
I mean, you're the big soccer fan.
I am.
What are the keys for the U.S. right now?
I would say limiting set pieces. Bosnia, almost all of their goals in this World Cup have come via the set piece. 2-2, upstairs count will be full. I'll also say it's just utilizing the wingers. I mean, Serginho Dest and Christian Pulisic on the left and the right have been so good so far in this tournament for the United States. Pulisic finally back healthy for the first time in 3 games, fully fit. So should be a fun one out there. 3-2 curveball misses away. It's a leadoff base runner for Newport via the Salinas walk.
And the last 2 times Newport got that leadoff man on board was in the first and the second. In both those innings, they found ways to score him. With the heart of the order up in Wallace, Larson, and Mershon, all 3 guys with home run amount level of power. We'll see if they can get Salinas the final 270 feet around the bases and tie things up at 3.
It brings up Colby Wallace. His first pitch is up and in for ball 1.
Yeah, and Harry, you mentioned the importance of getting that lead runner on. We saw it last inning. Caden Cloud had a nice double, but there's already 2 outs. You get the top of the order up with 2 outs. There's not much to do. You can't advance a runner. You can't bunt. So many opportunities when you have no outs.
Chop the third. Donahue to second. That's going to get away from his brother Gavin and into right field. Advancing from second to third is Salinas, and the Gulls will be in business after the error.
A risky play from Ronan Donahue, choosing to go to second on a slow roller down the line, and it comes up empty-handed. His brother Gavin unable to make the scoop. Salinas advances the bonus 90 feet over to third. You could see the 2 colliding on the slide. And yeah, Newport in business with runners on the corners and still no outs for the cleanup man and Brandon Larson.
Yeah, that's a decent example right there. It might not be the easiest way, but you get your leadoff hitter on, and then you make them make a play. They couldn't make it right there. You got first and third, nobody out.
First pitch home to the cleanup man. Larson is down low for ball 1. With the tying run 90 feet away, and the go-ahead run now taking a lead over from first in Colby Wallace. Still no one away on the bottom of the 5th. The 1-0 misses low and in at the back foot.
And you can tell that letting those first 2 guys on just rattles Smith a little bit, who really settled in during his second and third inning of relief work. But now with 2 men on and nobody out, he has to be able to pound the zone against Larson, but struggling to do so early.
Trying to find command. 2-0. Swiped and missed by Larson. Impactful bat in this Newport order. We mentioned the homer the last time these 2 teams met right here at Cardines Field.
Wonder if we'll see any movement out of Wallace at first here on the first and third.
2-1 home. Runners stay put. This one's lined to right. That's going to get down and tie this ball game at 3. An RBI single from Brendan Larson, and we got a fresh slate in the 5th.
Yeah, when you give a talented hitter like Larson something over the middle or inside part of the plate that he's able to pull down that right side, he hits it really, really hard right in between Gavin Donahue and Kyle Garbowski. The first 3 men all working their way aboard. Salinas comes around to tie the ball game. It looks like Danbury might have a new wing.
Connor Farrell's going to come out and take Glenn Smith out of this ball game. So a new arm for the Danbury Westerners, and we'll have more on the new hurler on the other side of this break here on NECBL Plus. Well, after the first 3 runners here in the 5th all reach safely for Newport, Danbury will go to a new man on the mound. And it'll be the sophomore out of Hamden, Connecticut, formerly of Virginia Tech, and now in the transfer portal, Tyler Stone, making his 6th appearance for the boys from Hat City. A 1-0 record and 7 innings of work. That ERA at a 6.43 with 5 strikeouts. Last featured on June the 28th, a few nights ago, 3 innings and an 8-6 victory over the Ocean State Waves. He allowed 3 runs and 2 hits in that time, and will be looking to try to limit the damage as Newport has been in business here in the 5th. It'll be runners on first and second, still no one away, and Peter Mershon coming up.
Glenn Smith did a good job on the mound today. I think he really ate away some middle innings. Not really, maybe didn't expect a pitch in the second, but he went 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, only one of them being earned, walked 3, struck out none. But he had 2 frames that were scoreless, and those were really efficient frames for the Westerners. So he did his job. Tie game right now. Big opportunity for Stone to come in, and he has, tough situation to work with, first and second, nobody out.
So you got to bring more velocity than Smith did. That fastball can range all the way up to 94 with some off-speed in there as well, slider, changeup that he likes to work.
You got to applaud Smith's ability to really come together after that rocky start. I know he didn't get a bunch of help with the error between Ronan Donahue at third on the throw over to second. He gave up the tying run of the ball game, and doesn't give Tyler Stone exactly an easy scenario to come on into, but looking for an unproductive out of Peter Mershon if you could find it. Third baseman playing in, trying to prevent the bunt.
Mershon 0 for 2, but has reach based twice, both on fielder's choices. First pitch, fastball from Stone, middle of the zone for strike 1.
And you're looking for something similar in this at-bat if you're Danbury. If you could get Mershon to put something up the middle, you have some decent speed at second in Colby Wallace, but not a lot over at first in Brandon Larson. And if you could pick up 2 outs with a double play ball, that'd be key.
0-1 home. Drops on the curveball.
This is also a game you can just tell both sides really want it with the amount of arms they're willing to throw.
Feels like a must-win almost for both teams, even though you look in the standings, Newport fighting their way up toward the top, trying to catch up to the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. This one's fouled off the glove of Mowry. And Danbury fighting in the bottom of the South Division, trying to climb right back up into those middle rankings, make it into the playoff push.
And I was talking to some of Newport ownership and the coaching staff before the game, and they said June is, you can treat it a little bit like the preseason. July is really when things start to heat up, figuratively and literally.
Well, it's July 1st, or as Mets fans like myself know it, it's Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yes.
Which means that we're getting into the heat of this NECBL season, and I have to be made fun of for 10 more years. 1-2, slider away, ball 2. Don't worry, I got that text about 10 times this morning.
But I mean, with the amount of money that the Mets are spending, the $1 million they're giving to Bonilla,
it doesn't even matter.
$1 million's become irrelevant in the baseball world.
Exactly.
Since Bonilla's time in the league, so.
2 on, no one away. And Stone deals home a 2-2. Curveball well upstairs, and it nearly took Mershon on the helmet. And the count moves to full.
You don't want to start things off with a walk. Still no outs. Last thing you want to do is load the bases for Braxton Trammell, who's done a good job of just putting the ball in play, and with no outs, a ball in play would easily score 1.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch home. Flared foul. That'll go up over our heads and out toward the fire department behind us.
Mershon just trying to battle and make Stone eventually miss outside of the zone or miss too much inside of the zone and a pitch in his wheelhouse. But on those close ones, you just have to get defensive, try and foul him off, and keep working.
We'll see what Stone dials up here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and he'll come home for another payoff. Caught the outer black for strike 3 on the fastball, and a big first out here in the 5th.
I'll tell you, I think Jake Brichta behind the plate's called a really good game, but a little delayed on the strike 3 calls.
It took a second there.
I know you right there and me sometimes earlier in the game hard to pick up on when it's a called strike 3. It's sometimes easier when the guys just swing and miss.
He's been saying ball, like on a
Yeah,
ball
he's been
outside, or
saying
sorry,
ball.
outside or something.
Yeah.
So I was trying to kind of dictate if he was saying ball or if he was saying strike 3. I couldn't tell, but then you see the punch and you realize that's a backwards K. It's the first pitch into Braxton Trammell's low and in for ball 1.
So I think one of the many beauties of baseball is that every umpire calls a game differently.
Yeah.
And, you might not get the same effect with ABS and the MLB, but still their timing, what they say, what they don't say, it's cool.
1-0, rip through the hole in the right field for a base hit. They're going to hold the runner and Wallace at third, so that'll load the bases up for Cade Brown.
And the lefties have just been mashing for Newport during this half inning. First Larson and now Trammell getting pitches on that inside part of the plate that they're just able to turn on and lace into right field. Tell you my hot take, it was one of the, I forget which broadcaster was asking me my MLB baseball hot take. It might have been AJ Gonzalez from the Valley Blue Sox, but I was saying that I'm not a fan of ABS because I think part of the purity of the game, what we have here in the NECBL, is that each game's called a little differently.
I agree with you on that. I think it's kind of the purest form of the game in a sense. So Stone faces Brown. First pitch, swing and a miss on the off speed for strike 1.
And you talk about ABS, and now you're watching the World Cup. They got the VAR replay.
Yeah.
Tennis has the crazy.
The Hawkeye, yeah.
The Hawkeye replay. And then I saw a post, and it's like, we still got chain gangs in the NFL. But they have the technology to go down to like the centimeter on a football, so it's crazy.
0-1 runs outside.
Yeah, I mean, with the tush push nowadays, I think it's only a matter of time before they are putting a chip in the ball, right, to determine where.
Is that actually happening?
Yeah, last year they implemented that, but again, they'll still go to the referees on the chains, and they're still using that system, which I like.
1-1. Stone finds the zone.
Something about honoring the history of the sport.
I feel like that's one of the most fun, moments in a football game. If they have to bring the chain gang onto the field, and you're sitting there in anticipation. 1-2, chop foul, and Brown's able to stay alive.
Famous clip, early 2010.
Is it the one with the piece of paper? Is that what you're pulling out?
That's Gene Steratore.
Yeah, that's Gene Steratore.
Who works on CBS as the rules analyst. He comes out. I think it was at the Coliseum, actually, and
yes,
in Oakland.
It was a Raider game. It was a Raider game.
And he puts the card in, and he's smiling when he does it.
I love that.
So old school,
that was great. That was great. I miss the Coliseum. I'll put it out there. I love that place. 1-2, swung on and missed from Cade Brown. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Tyler Stone as he tries to get out of this jam.
That's a big unproductive out, too, to generate if you're the Danbury Westerners. And Tyler Stone digging low in the zone. He was ahead on Cade Brown, gets him to chase. It's a big second out ahead of a very scary Cole Johnson. A big RBI opportunity for the righty out of Austin P to give Newport the lead. But if you're the Westerners and Tyler Stone trying to work out of the jam.
Johnson 1 for 2 today with an RBI double. First pitch is in the opposite batter's box for ball 1.
That breaking ball has been Stone's go-to, and he tries to work ahead early on Johnson, but disciplined in the right-handed batter's box.
Stone fires in 1-0. A curveball again inside and allows Johnson to get ahead. Now when Newport has been ahead in counts, it's where they've dealt the majority of their damage. Johnson had a 2-0 count in the second. That's when he delivered that RBI double.
A .472 slugging. He offers a lot of power.
2-0, watches the curveball blow by for strike 1.
I like that 2-0 pitch right there. Had confidence in his off-speed pitch. Located it perfectly. Now you're up 2-1, or now you're down 2-1, but hitters count, pitchers count. Really, have opportunity to put the ball anywhere.
A 2-1. Fastball in and out of the glove of Mowry. He'll slide and throw home, but they won't apply the tag. And the Gulls will take the lead on the passed ball. Colby Wallace comes home to score. Newport 4, Danbury 3.
Wallace full head of steam flying through home plate. And Newport back out in front. A back and forth affair, and the Gulls with the lead again. Just a pitch that got away on the inside.
Maybe crossed up Mowry a little bit, couldn't keep the leather on it, and now it's 3-1 the count with 2 away and runners on second and third.
Cole Johnson tied for the lead in RBIs for Newport with 13.
Chance to get one, hitters count. 3-1 down the middle of the plate for strike 2.
Stone's just been going back to the breaking ball again and again, but he's also missed big with it a couple of times, as we've already seen here during the bottom of the 5th.
Gulls lead by 1. Larson on third, Trammell on second. 3-2 home. Misses outside, and the bases will be loaded right back up for Caden Cloud.
Cloud, who had a hit his last time around, put a double right over the second baseman's head and Gavin Donahue and coasted into second. Another real power bat. He homered during his NACBL debut against Danbury a couple weeks ago and has 3 on the season, 4 doubles to his name as well. Also 12 RBIs, so another guy that provides a lot of the offensive production for Newport with a chance with the bases loaded.
So 2 away and the base is juiced. Stone out there on an island looking for an out. First pitch home, outside, and Mowry does well to keep it in front of him.
If you're Stone, I know you're behind 1-0, but you don't really want to fall much further behind than that. You got to try to do your best to put something in the zone, even the count up here, and then work ahead from 1-1.
1 ball, no strikes. Stone a breath, and then he'll turn and fire on home. Right down Broadway for strike 1. Cloud doubled his last time up, was able to advance to third, and then stranded there after the Devin Zyrus ground out. Zyrus, the man on deck. Would be next if Cloud can move the chain along. Looks to do it, 1-1. Hits the zone for strike 2.
Good 1-1 pitch right there. And puts him in an opportunity to really be himself right here. Don't worry about the runners. You get 2 outs. Anything but a pass ball is fine right here, especially in the 1-2 count.
The base is loaded. Newport out to a 4-3 lead. Stone comes home, the 1-2. Mowry has to dive to keep that one from hitting the chainmail behind him.
Yeah, good job to keep it in front if you're the backstop. You don't want one to get past you, and if Larson's leaning down that third base line, give Newport a 2-run lead.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases remain loaded. Tyler Stone trying to get out of this jam. Newport has retaken their lead. 2-2. Misses away again, and Mowry has to fight it off to keep it in front of him.
Yeah, and if you're Stone out there on the mound, a lot of these pitches just haven't been very competitive. He's missed that part of the main part of the zone a lot.
3-2, 2 outs, bases loaded. Runners will be in motion right here. So if Cloud can find a gap, might clear the bases, I should say.
He's got enough speed to really push them along the base paths if he needs to, or if he has the opportunity to, I should say. Will he? 3-2, Stone will kick and deal. Runners start going. Poked out to right field. Moving back is Ludi, and that one is foul.
A close one. Just creeping over the warehouse. Cloud took a couple feet down the line, thought he might have had it. The breeze not that friendly here for the Gulls.
I thought he had one, fought the opposite way, would have been right down the line, but goes over the warehouse, so we'll do it again. The base is loaded. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Newport trying to extend a 1-run lead. The payoff pitch from Stone. Fouled off. Caden Cloud fighting to stay alive.
Yeah, and if you're Caden Cloud, you're just continuing to pile more and more pressure on Tyler Stone, who's having to put everything into these payoff pitches. The first one, almost a long ball, and Cloud just kind of wasting that breaking ball away. If you're Stone, though, really just forced to continue attacking the zone. You can't mess around with trying to generate a chase.
So for a third time, we'll do it. Payoff pitch comes home. Fly ball, left field. Delph at the warning track, at the wall, and it's off the top of the fence. 2-run score, and the 3rd run comes home. A double off the top of the wall out and left to clear the bases. Newport explodes out to a 4-run lead.
Almost got out of here, almost a grand slam for Caden Cloud, putting it off the very top of the wall. Got every bit of that one. and Newport just really breaking things open. A 5-run bottom of the 5th, and a game they were trailing 3-2 turns into a 7-3 lead. Looks like that might be all for Tyler Stone.
Tyler Stone's day will be done. We'll have another Westerner arm on the hill, but the damaging blow has been dealt by the Newport Gulls. A 5 spot here in the 5th, and they're not done here on NECBL Plus.
Every pitch, every hit, every moment that matters. From youth baseball to the professional leagues, this is where the next generation of players takes the field. The passion, the intensity, the pursuit of greatness. From future stars to unforgettable moments, every game tells a story, live and on demand all season long. Watch the future of the game unfold. Watch on HomeTeamLive.com.
A 5 spot in the 5th from the Newport Gulls, and they'll try to keep it moving. Caden Cloud will stand on second after that 3-run double, but Devin Zyrus at the dish will face a new arm in Alex Payne. The southpaw had a laugh by yet 10 innings of work with 14 strikeouts through 8 appearances, or 7 appearances rather, I should say, this season, and that ERA at a sparkling 0.00. One of the few lefties available out of this Danbury bullpen, and that's exactly who Connor Farrell and this coaching staff will go to here in the 5th to try to find that elusive third out.
Yeah, well, with back-to-back lefties in Zyrus and Salinas, it's nice to be able to throw the lefty out there in Payne, but also a guy that you can just trust to mellow the scenario a little bit. The momentum really shifting fully over to the goal side of things after that Caden Cloud bases clearing double. And if you're Danbury, it's a shame to look back on in that you had 2 outs in the inning and 4 more runs than come across to score. First Colby Wallace on the pass ball and 3 more after that hit.
So Zyrus comes in. Payne's first pitch, that misses up and away for ball 1.
Zyrus, the 9th batter of the inning.
So Newport looking to bat around. A lefty on lefty between Payne and Zyrus. Caden Cloud still stands on second. He's already moved to third today after his double in the 4th. This one's hit through the hole on the right side for a base hit. Will he test the arm of Ludi? He won't have to. Up off the glove and all the way down to the wall. Zyrus will round second, head to third. He'll pull up there, no problem. We'll see how it's scored, but regardless, it's an RBI for Devin Zyrus and an 8-3 lead for Newport.
Smoked into the outfield grass, and then Ludi just bouncing up, eating him up off the glove and rolling all the way to the wall. Zyrus gets to flash off the wheels a little bit, reaches all the way over to third. Joe Dupuis, our third base camera, is absolutely loving it. Newport just continuing to open things up. This is very similar to what we saw the last time around. It was a really close contest until the Gulls just put up one of those bigger crooked numbers during the middle innings and seemed to be in full control.
So the Gulls have batted around. Salinas, for the second time in this inning, takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. He walked to lead off this 5th frame.
And that's how it started if you're Newport, getting that leadoff man on and making the job a whole lot easier for the offense.
1-0 is swung through and missed for strike 1. But Zyrus delivers another blow on the single and brings home the 8th run of this ball game for Newport. They've taken firm control as this pitch gets away from Mowry. The throw home, the tag, and they got him in time. Heads up play from Alex Payne to cover the bag and gets the out. So Salinas is at bat. Well, count will head to the 6th, but Newport has exploded out to an 8-3 lead. Bang, bang play, and Payne gets the best of it here on NECBL Plus.
Looking to show off your Newport Gulls pride? Swing by the Goalie Shop, your official home for Gulls gear. From t-shirts and hoodies to hats and limited edition merch, we've got everything you need to rep Newport in style. Located right inside historic Cardines Field, or shop online anytime at newportgulls.com and click on the Goalie Shop. Don't miss out, grab your gear today and join the best fans in summer baseball. The Goalie Shop, where Gulls fans gear up.
Some of the interns saying hello out here in Newport, enjoying their time. And the night starts to get a little bit darker out here. The floodlights starting to illuminate the field. What a fun time. If you're a Newport Gull or one of their fans, a 5 spot in the 5th has exploded them out to an 8-3 lead.
Adam Broski's going to substitute in behind the dish. You would think that's a substitute for Peter Mershon, but could also technically be for Cade Brown, the DH. I'm going to assume Mershon, then we'll see when they come around in the batting order.
So you have to see exactly who he will be replacing, but for now, Broski will be the battery mate to McSweeney, who's still on the hill for the Newport Gulls. He'll face 2, 3, 4 in the Danbury order: Garbowski, Ronan Donahue, and Jack Ludy.
Yeah, and you talk about Broski coming in to catch. Harry, we have a new catcher, Ernie Echeverria, coming from Penn University out of the Ivy League, also from Miami, Florida. He hasn't played yet, but he arrived last night around 10 o'clock, so another catcher for the Gulls.
Yeah, and I felt like when we were facing all these other teams in the NECBL that Newport was the only team that didn't have an Ivy League guy, and now they got him. Some brains to add to the operation. Team
GPA suddenly skyrocketed.
Well, it's funny because we were at Upper Valley yesterday. And
they have a bunch.
Yeah, but unrelated to just in terms of brain power, I was talking to Nate Schlote, and we were talking about academics, and he goes to Vanderbilt, so obviously a very prestigious university. And he said, yeah, I'm really good at math. And I said, well, I like math. So we're asking each other just like funny questions. And then he got into cube roots, and Tristan Salinas was like, you guys want to have a cube root off? And started asking us the cube roots of random numbers to see who could get the closest.
I would have been done really quick. That pitch hits the zone. The count moves 1-2. How far did you guys get along with this?
We got really we did 11 games.
What?
And I won 6-5.
So we have a little update. Falarin Balogun has scored, and the U.S. is out to a 1-0 lead in the 31st minute, or maybe not. It might be offsides, and the offsides flag is up. So never mind.
I saw some stat about like 40% of goals are called back.
Yep.
It's insane.
That's crazy. Well, we got a little excited up here in the booth. It's World Cup season, but I think I'm still more excited about the cube root off. That's cool, man. You know, you would have asked me that back in my elementary school days as Garbowski swings on and misses for strike 3.
Maybe I'll pivot on the trivia to just ask you guys the cube roots of certain numbers.
Did you guys have a math bee in school or a spelling bee?
I had a spelling bee in middle school.
So we had a math bee and spelling bee. We had both.
Ooh. We had they were called like the math minutes, where you had to go on the sheet and see how many you could get.
Yeah,
multiplication problems.
We had those. This is the first pitch home. The Donahue's taken low for ball 1.
Remember my spelling bee in 6th grade. This was the last one I did because of COVID, of course. I didn't get it, not because of my spelling, but because I didn't know the difference between there, and there. They asked me, they told me, I forget which one they told me to spell, but I just had no clue.
My dad was a really good spelling bee contestant as a kid, actually. So when I was in it, he was very involved and would make me like practice and get really good. He was like 2 spots away from making it to the national spelling bee good. Wow. Like he was like all regional speller. As this one's hit to second, a good glove by Salinas on the hop. And there's quickly 2 away. Newport taking firm control of this one.
Can you spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
If you gave me enough time to kind of like sit down and think about it. If I do it on air, this inning might be over. We might be already into like the 7th by the time I'm done.
By then we'll be this game will be long gone.
It brings up the right fielder, Jack Ludy, who is trying to be the first base runner to reach base safely since all the way back in the 3rd inning. That was when Ronan Donahue reached on a fielder's choice. Since then, it's been all Gulls so far. 9 straight Westerners retired, and 5 of those via the K. 1-0 the count to Ludi. Pitch home. Swipes the zone for strike 1.
Oh for 2 on the day for Jack Ludi. The Danbury Westerners just with 3 hits to their name compared to the Newport 8.
1-1, misses inside. Danbury got the fireworks started early on that Edmonds 3-run homer in the 2nd. Since then, they've had just 1 hit. It was a Kyle Garbowski single in the 3rd. Meanwhile, the Gulls exploded for that 5 spot as Ludi chops this to 3rd. Trammell has it, throws the first. A good scoop over there at the bag by Larson to retire this side. The last 10 Westerners have sat down quietly in Newport. We'll try to add on more. Middle of the 6th, here from Guardians Field.
Looking to show off your Newport Gulls pride? Swing by the Goalie Shop, your official home for Gulls gear. From t-shirts and hoodies to hats and limited edition merch, we've got everything you need to rep Newport in style. Located right inside historic Guardians Field, or shop online anytime at newportgulls.com and click on the Goalie Shop. Don't miss out, grab your gear today and join the best fans in summer baseball. The Goalie Shop, where Gulls fans gear up.
Well, the Seagulls are multiplying out there in center field. Another one just landed, and maybe it's because the runs have been coming in bunches as well for the Newport Gulls. 5 runs in that 5th inning, trying to add on more here in the 6th. It'll be the same 3 leading off: Salinas, Wallace, and Larson.
Yeah, the same 3 that got the party started last inning. There's so many Seagulls out there.
They're
2 more
multiplying.
just
I'm
landed.
telling you, they're showing up more and more.
It's a hot spot.
You're not called the Newport Gulls if there aren't seagulls around here, right? You're
It's
right
a fitting
by the
name.
beach. As Newport has been able to really just take control of this game. It started on the defensive side, which is what we were saying. We were saying one of these bullpens is going to have to find a way to hunker down and throw those zeros across the board. Well, 5 out of the 6 innings where Danbury has had the bat in their hand, there's a 0 next to their name. Meanwhile, Newport has been able to put up those runs in bunches.
Yeah, 3 out of 5 so far, and that offensive consistency is why Newport sits towards the top of the lead in terms of total production. They create constant pressure, and then when the big inning comes, that's when they can really put games away, and looking likely they might be heading to their 9th straight victory.
First pitch is inside and out of the glove of Colin Mowry for ball 1. Alex Payne remains on the mound after he got the final out of the 5th. Was able to tag Devin Zyrus out trying to advance the home on a passed ball of Mowry. 1-0 pitch. Yanked outside again by Payne.
Yeah, Luca, we talked about in the pregame how a lot of these NECBL games can go up to 3.5, 4 hours. How, when it rains, it pours. Well, that's just what it's been for the Gulls. That 6th inning, you had 2 errors. Everything was going their way. In this win streak, everything's been going their way, and that's not a luck thing. You're playing good baseball. That's what the Gulls have been doing. It's continued tonight, and hopefully, into the middle of July, you stay hot at a time when it's very needed for playoff contention.
Yeah, their pitching staff has really just stifled the Westerners' offensive attack. Meanwhile, their bats have come to play and been alive, hot and ready. As that 3-0 is low and in, a 4-pitch walk to lead things off for Salinas. The 2nd straight inning he's led off with a base on balls.
Yeah, when you put a lot of runners on base, it forces the other team to make more plays. Salinas worked his way via the walk the last inning, and then the next play was an error by Ronan Donahue, which really helped Newport get into the groove of things.
So now with no one away and a man on, it's Colby Wallace. He reached on the Ronan Donahue error in the last inning. Payne finds the zone for the first time for strike one.
Payne, one of the better arms for Danbury all season long. If you want any chance of overcoming this 5-run deficit with only 3.5 innings left to play, you can't afford it to get any worse.
A looper at the right field. He gets down the line for a base hit. Rounding second, heading to third is Salinas. He'll pull in there an RBI, or rather not RBI, but a single for Colby Wallace all the same to put men on the corners, and Newport just seems like they smell blood in the water.
Exact same situation as the last time around now. Runners on the corners for Brandon Larson, who ripped a single into right field during the bottom of the fifth, has another RBI opportunity with Salinas once again at the third base bag.
Wasn't a hit and run, looked like one though, just opposite field, kind of in between that 3-4 hole, went down the line, and again, Salinas was flying around the bases right there, so a lot of things going the Gulls' way.
First pitch in the zone. Larson keeps the swing back for strike one. I mentioned that RBI single in the fifth, singled in the third as well. Was reached base safely 3 times tonight. Trying to extend that streak. Swings through the 0-1 offering.
Yeah, I think the best way to attack a hitter like Larson, from what we've seen of him so far this season, breaking balls low in the zone and that outer third part of the plate. He's a pull-heavy guy that enjoys putting elevation under the ball if it's up in the zone when he can get it. You got to stick away from that hot area of the plate.
No balls, 2 strikes. Runner goes to second. Chopped over towards second base. Donahue has it. Throws to first in time, but it's a productive out and scores Salinas from third to make it a 9-3 game.
Larson just getting the job done. A good movement over at the first base bag from Colby Wallace to break up any potential of a double play. And Coach Colin Farrell's right back out there pointing down towards the bullpen. That'll do it for Alex Payne.
So Payne's night will be done, and we'll have yet another arm out of the Danbury bullpen when we return here on NECBL Plus.
Every pitch, every hit, every moment that matters. From youth baseball to the professional leagues, this is where the next generation of players takes the field. The passion, the intensity, the pursuit of greatness. From future stars to unforgettable moments, every game tells a story. Live and on demand all season long. Watch the future of the game unfold. Watch on HomeTeamLive.com.
Fifth pitcher of the ball game for the Danbury Westerners, and they'll turn to the junior out of Glenside, Pennsylvania from Lehigh in Cole Kachanowicz. Kachanowicz coming into today as a solid bullpen arm for the Westerners. Made his first start of the season a few nights ago, where he pitched just 2 innings, but comes in looking to try to limit the Newport Gulls, who have continued their offensive rampage into the 6th inning, added on 1 more already in this frame.
Yeah, Newport was looking for that complete type of ball game, and while the pitching hasn't been its best, still only allowed 3 runs. I think you'd probably take that if you're the pitching staff for Newport, and the offense has just exploded for 9 of their own, and when they're in full swing like this, it's no wonder they're riding a 9-game winning streak.
Kochanowicz, another guy who pitched on that June 19th game, he went only 2/3 innings, let up 2 hits, 2 runs. Both of them earned, walked 3, struck out 3. So he had trouble against Newport last time alongside Glenn Smith. So both of these guys kind of getting their redemption tries, and Newport still staying hot despite, you know, all these different arms we're seeing out of the Westerners bullpen.
It really hasn't mattered who the Danbury Westerners have thrown out there against the Gulls. Newport has been able to find the answers, especially in these middle innings, and a 9-3 commanding lead as we tick towards the final third of this ball game, trying to move to 3-0 on the season series against Danbury. So important to collect wins, especially against those teams you face off in division.
Yeah, and Newport is just continuing to climb those South Division standings. They've been going up and up. You look at the South Division, the Martha's Vineyard Sharks at 16-4, still standing first, but Newport not far behind at 13-7-1. Those two teams facing off tomorrow. And well, if you wonder how Newport's going to get there, the Steamship Authority Ferry, whether you're an island resident or planning a summer getaway or going to catch tomorrow's action, the fastest way to get to the Cape and Islands is by taking the New England League's preferred partner, the Steamship Authority Ferry. Visit steamshipauthority.com for more information. Were you there yesterday, or did they come to you guys?
They came to us yesterday.
Okay.
We were there about 3 weeks ago. Go back out there one more time. It's a fun ride.
Yeah, that's fun.
Getting home at 4 a.m. wasn't so fun. But
yeah, I forgot you got it. I mean, even by the time you get to Newport, passing Newport, you still got like 2.5 hours to go. Yeah,
that's a ride. It's a ride.
Yeah.
The nice thing is, from Danbury, you don't got to come south through Newport. You just go kind of north and cut right through. But it's still, I was talking to Liam Stevens, their broadcaster, last night, and he was saying about how, it can be a little bit of a trip every single time when you got to take the ferry to an away game and then the fishing boat back. First pitch, fly ball up and out of play over our heads.
Borowski subbing in for Mershon in the 5 spot, getting his first at-bat of the ball game.
So like-for-like swap in that regard.
But yeah, Danbury, we mentioned earlier, fighting for a playoff spot. We know it's still the midway point of the season, this being the 22nd out of 44 games for Newport. But it does get late early, and you want to be in the playoff contention sort of things. You don't want to be chasing too many games down the final stretch.
As a pitch clock violation is called, and that will even the count up to 1-1. And while we thought the U.S. had scored earlier, we were a little bit premature. It looks like now they have indeed scored. In the 45th minute, it is Folarin Balogun. So the U.S. leads 1-0 over Bosnia and Herzegovina out there in Santa Clara. First pitch taken for strike 2.
It's all about the early leads in any sport you play. I feel like there always seems to be action right before the half as well.
Maybe not as early as the U.S. may have wanted right before halftime, but I saw this stat the other day. This is the World Cup with the most goals after the 90th minute. Fly ball left field. Delph's got to charge in, but it looks like Rivera's got it. Camps under, loses it a little bit in the lights, but makes the play, and Wallace retreats to second after the out.
Yeah, and I also, off of the games earlier today, England with a stunning comeback win, courtesy of 2 goals from Harry Kane. And England has one win in World Cup history when conceding first.
Yes.
And then they just secured their second today. And
so you got your trivia. You knew that. Do you know who that win came against and when it was?
I believe it was 1964 was the year that they showed. Is that right?
Really close.
What was it? I'm going to guess Ireland.
1966 against West Germany.
Wow.
It's the last time England won the World Cup as well, 1966.
And that's not even a country anymore. That was
not even a country anymore.
I was going to say, I think if England lost today, that might be the worst loss they've ever had on North American soil. As a country as a whole, I think that might top it.
I don't know. There might be,
listen,
there might be one more.
There's a little bit of a celebration in 3 days that might beg to differ. 0-1. Lifted into right center. Ludi fights the lights. He can't see it. Stearns says he might have a beat, and he'll make the grab to end the 6th. Well, we'll head to the 7th, and I'll throw the play-by-play back over to Harry on the other side here on NECBL Plus.
Welcome back to Cardines Field. I'm Annalena Aubin, and one unique thing about the NECBL is that players come from across the country. And on any given night, college teammates become opponents. Tonight, Newport's Zane Stahl and Danbury's Colin Mowry both come from Louisville. Back to you guys.
Well, and speaking of those Louisville Cards, we got one of their very own in the booth with us, Zane Stahl, the 6'7" pitcher out of Louisville. And Zane, pleasure to have you. Barely fit on the TV screen.
Hey,
I mean,
there
thought
we
Matt
go.
Clements was a tall guy, but we got to ask you about you're facing off against Colin Mowry, who's behind the dish today, a guy that you suit up with at the college level and have thrown to quite a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
What's it mean like to be in the NECBL and get to see so many familiar faces every once in a while?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great league, and I'm just blessed to be able to come out here, you know, and there's a handful of Louisville guys that are in this league, and just to be able to match up against them like this and play in these awesome ballparks has just been a great experience, and I can't be happier.
Well, speaking of awesome ballparks, you're at Cardines is where you guys get to play your home games, and it's truly one of a kind. What does it mean to get to play here in front of the lights, in front of over 2,000 fans here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Today we worked with the Boston Red Sox and Foundation this morning, and they said that this field's actually older than Fenway, which is kind of surprising to me. So that's pretty cool, and it's a pretty cool experience to be able to play here.
First pitch grounded at Trammell. The throw on the hop gets past Larson at the first base bag, heading to second and in there safely to begin the inning. Little miscue from the hot corner, but I'll ask you this. You had 7 Ks your last performance. It was really strong out of the bullpen against the Bristol Blues on Saturday. What was clicking for you just on that 2-strike pitch, but also just getting there as well?
Yeah, I was landing all my pitches for strikes, which is a great day, you know, as a pitcher, being able to have your full arsenal on display and be able to locate everything. But my curveball was doing really well that day, and I was just locating it well, and they just couldn't seem to hit it.
Well, Delph now stands in after Donahue reaches second on the error. Newport's first of the game, and the first pitch to Delph misses low and away. The pitching for Newport has looked really strong as of late. The 3-2 win against Sanford on Monday, a shutout win up at the Upper Valley yesterday. And you guys there's a really strong mojo out in the bullpen. I know I catch myself out there before the game every once in a while, and you guys just get along really well. Having that positive atmosphere, is that something that you've found everywhere you've played, or is it something that really sticks out to you about the team this summer?
Yeah, it's definitely something that sticks out here, and I think that's kind of what's helped pull the team kind of together and let the pitching kind of lead the hitting, if you will, in some aspects of the game. And it helps with being light, you know, going out there and not feeling like you're so down on yourself, and it's just someone's going to pick you up if you're not having your best stuff. And it's great to have a team like that has your back and a group of guys that you can get along with too during the game. This gets pretty long every now and then, and so to have guys like that, it's pretty nice.
Pitch catches the outside corner.
And for you on the players' side of things, you know, us as broadcasters, we travel with you guys, and we're all going through this 44-game season. But for you, especially as a pitcher, managing that load, coming off a big season in the ACC, and how has your comfort level felt in getting through that, and now as you push into this second half of the summer?
Yeah, it's been good. Louisville does a great job of, you know, giving us all the resources we need. I still talk to, you know, the strength coach and the pitching coach and all that stuff, and just managing the workload. And part of it's on us also, you know, as players, to be able to do our workouts and get our stuff in that we need to do to remain healthy. But
Delph taps one foul right side. Mowry stands on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We've aced the intro questions in. We'll get into some of the fun stuff.
All right.
A question we asked both Nate Schlode and Will Coleman when they came into the booth is, if you're taking a road trip across the country from Rhode Island all the way out to California, and you can bring one player or coach along with you, who are you taking and why?
Oh. All right. If I had to go coach, I'd probably take Coach Noah.
Yeah, all right.
He brings a good vibe to the dugout. He's been super cool. I haven't got to talk to him a ton, but the times I have, it's been pretty good. And if I had to pick a player, I'm definitely going to go with a pitcher for sure. I'd have to go with Will Allen. He's someone that I spend a lot of time with outside the field. Do field work here every week with him, and it's been a good guy to get to know.
Out of the University of South Florida, Colin Mowry, Zane Stahl's college teammate, taps one foul. And between knowing Mowry and knowing McSweeney, how would you want the lefty on the mound to go about attacking the catcher?
Oh, I don't know. Mowry's he's a hard out. We had to face him in the fall, or I had to face him in the fall for inter squads and things like that. It's good to see what he's going to do here. It's going to be interesting.
The 0-1 misses low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with a man on second and Gavin Donahue.
Harry, it's kind of hard to be able to know who to root for here. I got my team on the mound, but then
you're torn
it's also
apart
my
up
team,
here. Yeah.
Team in the box,
Well, it's a win-win either way.
Yeah.
Newport with the 6-run lead, 9-3 our score in the top of the 7th. Pitch inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. What's been your favorite as we enter July? We're approaching the midway point of the season, 22 games down, 22 left to go after tonight. Is a favorite memory or favorite trip that you've gotten to take so far, or on the field or off the field altogether?
Yeah. One that sticks out to me is, the trip to Martha's, riding that little fishing boat back, all bundled up, getting sprayed with water. That's one that sticks out to me. It was something we did early on, and I think we get to do again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a good bonding experience for all the guys right at the start. We didn't really know each other. We weren't that comfortable, and you get thrown on a boat for an hour and a half in the middle of the night. You have to be forced to talk to each other
a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't rain as much tomorrow. I know we had some rain towards the back stretch of that boat ride.
Can I ask, do you have a favorite ballpark other than Cardines? Because this place is incredible. But a favorite ballpark you've been able to experience so far in the NECBL this summer, you think?
I kind of have to go with Bristol, right? It's an awesome ballpark.
It's a cool one.
I pitched great there, so I feel like that's kind of a
always feels better when you play well there.
You were in your groove. Yeah, the dirt on the mound must have been quite nice out there.
Yeah.
How about this? When you're pitching day of the game, is there a go-to meal that you got to fit in beforehand, or?
No, I just try to stick with something that's gonna hold me off through the entire game. Not something super greasy. That's just gonna be able to let me have energy and be able to take that through the entire game.
Keeping it simple.
Yep.
Well, we have to mention the height, 6'7", as looks like Mowry might have broken the bat, or he works the walk, the full count walk. So catcher's interference, I wasn't sure. I feel like I was losing my track of thought for a second. Catcher's interference, Mowry works his way on first base. So 1 out and 2 men aboard for Jack Edmonds, who had a 3-run home run earlier in this contest. Coach Coombs out of the dugout, once again trying to get his word in. And I'll ask you about Coach Coombs, a very animated personality to say the least, but someone that's always willing to go to bat for you guys, really, and make sure that his voice is heard in defending you guys. How important is it, and how much fun has it been to be under Coach Coombs this season?
Oh, it's been awesome. I just feel like with all the coaches, you can go to any one of them with anything. You need help with something outside of the field, inside the field, you can kind of go to any of them. And even though some of them are older, I feel like they kind of get what it's like to be a young kid, and they kind of understand our lifestyle and stuff. And so it's just been awesome. And, Coombs being able to not care if he gets thrown out to get the guys fired up has been something that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that Ocean State game, of course, Coach Coombs getting tossed out on the road. The pitchers gave him a little round of applause, I remember, as he was leaving down the left field line. McSweeney darts back at second, now delivers home and catches the inside to Edmonds for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with 2 men aboard. What I was going to ask you is with your 6'7" frame, I have to assume you were a multi-sport athlete at some point.
Yeah.
Played a little bit of basketball?
Oh, yeah, basketball. It was actually my favorite sport growing up, and then just happened to be good at baseball.
Do you think
that.
Is there anybody on the team you think that could beat you one-on-one, or are you number one?
I'm going to have to put myself 1-1.
Wow.
I feel like it's a shame if I don't.
People say John Mass is a knockdown shooter, though. Is there any truth to that?
Oh, I haven't seen him. I haven't been in the gym with him at the same time, but, I wouldn't be surprised.
2 balls and 1 strike. McSweeney kicks and deals, and Edmonds swings right through it to even the count up at deuces. Is there an arm that major league arm that you model your stuff after a little bit, or can compare your pitch arsenal to?
A little bit recently has been Cam Schlittler. He's been dominating the scene in the MLB recently. Similar frame, similar arm action. Same with Ben Brown also. Just those are 2 guys that I kind of watch on a consistent basis and kind of visualize myself kind of doing stuff similar to them when I'm up there.
Cam Schlittler definitely isn't a bad comparison. That's
yeah.
it's a good guy to be compared to. I'm a big Yankees fan, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. My Tigers took him for a trip the other day,
Oh,
though.
jeez, yeah. I mean, they've looked terrible as of late. 7 straight losses for the Yanks.
How many of that is in a row?
Yeah, 7 straight, including that sweep against the Red Sox. You thought maybe they'd get one on Sunday, but came up empty-handed in extras. McSweeney's breaking ball misses for ball 1. What's been your favorite experience, non-baseball related, being in Newport, an exciting town to be in? I know you have your scooter. That's how you get around.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We saw you whipping it around Thames the other day, just a few blocks away from Cardines.
Yeah. Yeah, riding the scooter around's been, it's been fun. I get to see a lot of places and see things that you don't necessarily see when you're in a car, and just kind of get to take in the area. But me and the guys have been going to the beach a lot and just hanging out on the off days and stuff, and it's been nice. There's a lot of great host families that let us come over to their place and hang out as well, which has been awesome.
2 balls and no strikes. Definitely a nice place to be here in Newport as Rivera flies one into right field. Working in and making the catch is Cole Johnson for out number 3. Zane Stahl, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
a true
thanks
pleasure
for
to
having
have
me.
you up here in the booth. We send it to the bottom of the 7th up next on NECBL Plus.
What makes a great team hat? It starts with a Z. For decades, Zephyr has been making the most iconic headwear in the game, trusted by teams, colleges, and pros. We cut out the middlemen and work directly with our manufacturers, so you get top quality, fast turnaround, and prices that make sense. From bold designs to unbeatable fit, Zephyr hats are built to match the quality of your team, right down to the last stitch. Zephyr Team Headwear, born from experience, built for teams that stand out.
We welcome you back for the home half of the 7th. Newport with a commanding 6-run lead, 9-3 our score. And don't worry, we didn't forget about the trivia. Matt Clements is back in the booth. I wanted to make sure you didn't miss it. And we got to talk about the most recent goals in the pros. Joshua Kuroda-Grauer just made his debut with the Oakland Athletics a few nights ago, and in his Las Vegas Athletics, and had a very impressive debut, going 3 for 4 on the day. And my question for you, and wait to give your answer until the top of the 8th. I'm not sure if you're going to have seen this in the last few days, but who's the active leader in hits in the MLB? That's today's question. The active leader in MLB hits, the guy that Joshua Kuroda-Grauer will be trying to chase down during his hopeful long career. He's only 23 years old, I believe, and just skyrocketed straight up through the minor leagues. I believe it was just over a season and a half worth, 225 games, and he gets the gets the start at shortstop as I'm stuttering through my words, but it's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a
good
tough one. So it's got to be somebody that's had some tenure in the MLB for already, right?
Yeah, it's got to be a long tenured guy.
It's a longer tenured guy.
Our producer Mikey Basile is already locked in his answer. We'll hand that out in the next half inning.
I like that shout. I won't reveal it yet, but I like that shout.
Now, this does not include playoffs.
Doesn't include playoffs,
Okay.
no.
That would be a big.
Right. That changes things a lot, actually.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. So I have 3 names.
You have 3 names
going through my head.
Really?
He's circling.
Maybe the 3.
Well, I have a new name in my scorebook. It's because Bennett Creer is out there in center for Danbury here in the 7th. Replaces Aiden Stern.
He'll lead off the 8th.
Cade Brown, first pitch running inside, and it caught him. So the leadoff man aboard for Newport as it looked to catch Cade Brown on the front shoulder. But he'll head down to the first base bag. Appears to be okay and hands things off to Cole Johnson. Has had a relatively strong day at the plate. 1 for 2 with a double into the right center field gap. And a chance to hit with a man on and no man out in the bottom of the 7th. 9 hits for Newport here tonight, 9 runs to show for it. Danbury just stuck at 3. All 3 of those came in the top of the second, and we've talked a lot on that offensive consistency that they just haven't really had. And when you're facing a team like Newport who can continuously find ways to get the leadoff man aboard, something they've done a tremendous job at here tonight, it's really hard to just keep pace with this style of offense.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's hard to say stride for stride with a team that scores at the clip that Newport is able to. And it just looked like after the first 3 innings of this ball game, that was what Danbury would have needed to do if they wanted to win this game. And the offense has been shut down by the Gulls so far.
Cole Johnson grounds one left side. Donahue has it. Spinning throw to second for 1. And the throw to first not in time. So a 5-4 fielder's choice is how the Westerners grab their first out of the inning. And yeah, you look at the numbers, and in terms of leadoff batters, the Danbury Westerners 1 for 7, the Newport Gulls 5 for 7, and that's why they've applied so much pressure throughout. They've scored in 4 out of their first 6 frames.
Yeah, and Harry, in the pregame show, you mentioned, what was the goal for these Newport bats to, get hot again, and I said, hit and score early. I didn't mean early parts of the innings. I meant early on in the game, which they did, but also doing that in the early parts of the inning has been a huge factor for them. And, again, you mentioned that little stat right there. If you're a hitter and you're coming up to the plate and you have 2 guys on with nobody out, it just boosts your confidence more to come up to the plate and there's nobody on, 2 outs. Huge difference in morale, huge difference in what you can do, where you can hit the ball. So that's been a huge stat in the Gulls' favor tonight.
It also helps when you have power hitting. 4 extra base hits for Newport here tonight. All 4 of them doubles, and 2 of them courtesy of the guy in the box right now, Caden Cloud, who had a bases-clearing double high off the left field wall his last time around. Helped open this ball game up. Made it 7-3, and Newport's tacked on 2 more from there, providing some extra insurance as they're in full control in these later innings. Pitch misses downstairs, 2 balls and a strike, with 1 out and a man on first.
I'll tell you what, Harry, I've gotten a little bit quiet here in the 7th. I'm still stumped on this trivia question.
Think about it.
I'm giving a lot of thought to it. I'm trying to live up to the expectation that you set for me last time.
You'll have other answers that we get a lot of guesses from we get Anthony, our scorer, gives one to our left. Mikey gave his. Joe Dupuy has texted me his. I'll check that in between innings. Matt Clements will have. So you'll have something to build off of.
Right, exactly.
You can go last if you want it, and here's some names be thrown out there.
There's a couple running through the head. It's tough. That's a good question.
3 balls and 1 strike to Caden Cloud. Is flied right side.
If you asked me
how to play
3-4 years ago, I think either the answer
Miggy,
was
right?
Miguel Cabrera,
Right, Miggy
or I don't think Pujols hit 3,000.
I don't think Pujols hit 3,000.
700 homers, and he was probably in 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, because one thing about the number is there's no active hitter with 3,000 hits.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
That tells you something.
Much more focused on the long ball nowadays. As Cloud pops one up into shallow left field, working in is Delph. Back is Rivera, but making the catcher, coming up empty-handed, is the center fielder. A miscommunication on the Danbury side of things, and in and out of the glove of Bennett Criar.
Criar came in and called Delph off and then just didn't squeeze the glove around the ball. It's been a comedy of errors so far for Danbury, and it allows 2 base runners here in the 7th.
And just making things go from bad to worse when it seemed like Caden Cloud handed you an out. Danbury has 3 guys there, but none of them able to make the catch. As Mowry will go out and talk to Kachanowicz to try and settle him down before having to face Devin Zyrus, who is 1 for 2 on the day with a single to his name. An RBI as well. He's worked his way on base 3 out of 4 times. Just 1 out in the home half of the 7th with 2 men on. Johnson over at second and Caden Cloud over at first. The 0-0. It's in there for strike 1.
Harry, you mentioned the difference back to your MLB points about the the hits versus the long ball. And I was on Twitter the other day, and I know you're active there. Jorge Posada was on a podcast, and he was mentioning how he can't even watch baseball anymore, how it's unwatchable for him. And then Kirk Herbstreit, who mostly a college football analyst, came back and responded with all these points why he can't watch baseball anymore. Now, people came after him for it because a lot of people like, advanced statistics in the new way and launch angle and all this stuff. So I think it's a clash of generations, a class of what do you want to see on the baseball field. Personally, I like the new generation.
Saw it off at the hands, and it's going to be dropped by the third baseman, Donahue. He throws to second for one. The throw to third now. And how's that for a double play? Ronan Donahue drops the liner, throws it to second base for the first out, and then Cole Johnson tagged trying to advance over to third. We'll take another look.
How do you score that?
5-4-5.
5-4-5. Wow. All right, might have been Rivera covering the third base bag, so I guess it'd be a 5-4-6 double play. An entire baseball oddity. It's how the bottom of the seventh comes to a close. A 9-3 lead in favor of Newport. We got some more baseball and some trivia coming up on the other side.
Every pitch, every hit, every moment that matters. From youth baseball to the professional leagues, this is where the next generation of players takes the field. The passion, the intensity, the pursuit of greatness. From future stars to unforgettable moments, every game tells a story, live and on demand all season long. Watch the future of the game unfold. Watch on HomeTeamLive.com.
Welcome you back for the top of the eighth. A new arm on the mound, the fourth of the day for the Newport Gulls, and it's going to be John Mass, the recent FAU commit. A 9.95 ERA on the season through 6 1/3 innings of work, making his 5th appearance on the year. He's surrendered 7 earned runs off of 6 hits, 6 walks to 13 Ks. He's someone, in words of the new lingo, can really spin it. He leads the league, is atop the league in average spin rate, has a really strong looping breaking ball, but also has a high velocity fastball, especially for a guy of his size. He can touch up into the low 90s, and he'll try and close things out in the final 2 innings. But before we get into the action, let's get to the bottom of this trivia. The question was the active leader in hits, and I'll give you guys what we heard in our ears. Freddie Freeman was Mikey Basile's guess. Matt, we'll start with you on the right side. Who's your guess?
So my 3 options were between Mike Trout, Jose Altuve, and Freddie Freeman. I'm going to go with Jose Altuve.
Okay, so Mikey's in for Freddie, and Matt is in for Jose Altuve.
So Altuve was a name I was thinking of, but I want to have fun. It's probably wrong, but he's been in the league forever, so maybe. Andrew McCutchen.
Andrew McCutchen.
Oh, that's a good guess.
A deep pull from our good friend Luca Mucciardi. Freddie Freeman is Anthony's guess, and Joe Dupuy's guess is also going to be Freddie Freeman.
That's a good guess.
And while you guys both in the booth were wrong, the other 3 are all going to be right. Freddie Freeman, MLB's active leader in hits. They showed it on that Athletics broadcast when he was standing at the first base bag with Freddie Freeman. 2,523 career hits. Future Hall of Famer between the Atlanta Braves and Los Angeles Dodgers.
Could I see a current list?
I am going to look up the current list.
Because I feel like Trout, Altuve got to be in the top 5. McCutchen's got to be in the top 10.
See, I was thinking McCutchen has to be up there, even though it's been a couple years since he's been a true everyday starter.
Wow, look at this. Number 2, Jose Altuve, 2,445. Third place, Andrew McCutchen.
Okay, so it was a better guess than I thought it was.
So I got to applaud the group today for really just peppering that top of the list. We got 1, 2, and 3.
Now I'm looking. Mike Trout's 11, and that's just injury.
Yeah,
I think if he plays, as much as Altuve plays or Freeman plays in his span since I believe 2011.
Well, yeah, Trout's only got 75,000 at bats to his plate appearances to his name. Freeman's closing in on 10,000.
I'm going to pose a question. It's a 9-3 game. We're in the 8th. I think this is a good time
to
do it. Is Mike Trout the Derrick Rose of baseball?
I think.
Is it the same kind of comparison of what could have been.
His talent didn't exactly, where I say he's not like Derrick Rose in that his talent didn't exactly drop off. It's just a matter of getting to see him on the field consistently.
Right, but that was also...
I would say more like a Joel Embiid.
Maybe?
No, I don't think either of those. Because
Really?
I think the thing with Trout...
The high cheese from John Mass, his first strikeout of the ball game.
I believe the issue with Trout is, number one, injury.
Right.
Number two, we haven't seen him play in high-impact games. He's made the playoffs once. He's played in one playoff series in his whole career.
Right.
And not that matters in a sense, but some of the top guys, like a guy like obviously Altuve, Freeman, Miguel Cabrera, Pujols, all these guys we've been mentioning this whole broadcast, they've all played in the World Series. They've all played in ALCSs. They've all had big moments. I think Trout would have those moments if he was able to play there, and I think it changes the way we think about him because it's almost like, a what if, but what if the Angels were good?
Yeah.
Does that change something for him too?
And people are going to look back on those Angels rosters that had Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, two biggest names of our generation, and go, how did this team not even make the playoffs?
It wasn't like they didn't have pieces around them, too. I mean, they never really had the elite pitching that it takes to make a deep playoff push.
It shows you how much of a team sport it is, that you could be that talented up top, but if you can't hit 1 through 9 and you can't put together a complete pitching staff, you're just not going to be any good.
I mean, it was the two of them and Cole Calhoun for a while?
A fly ball into center field off the bat of Garbowski. Underneath it and making the catch for the second out of the inning is Devin Zyrus. So a quick first two outs for John Mass as he tries to go 1-2-3, now facing Ronan Donahue.
It's pretty incredible, though, that through all the injuries and everything, the way Trout continues to perform. I mean, there was a point this season where he was...
His long ball numbers were insane.
He's hitting 230, 17 homers, 36 ribbies this year. He's only hitting 234, but...
Mass's breaking ball catches the inside for strike one. The dugout's loving it. Mass is a guy that has a whole lot of energy in just about everything that he does. And when he's on the mound, you can see how dialed in that he gets. And the team loves to push him on, but that one runs inside and clips Donahue on the leg. So he'll get the free pass. We have a funny story that John Mass told us before the game. We were waiting for him to get in to talk about. We were down in the bullpen earlier, and Coach Coombs was down checking on the pitchers, and John goes, I have a funny story for you. He's from Portsmouth, Rhode Island, and we run the goalie camp. The Gulls, Newport Gulls run a baseball camp for kids in the area, and John Mass, of course, being from Portsmouth, was one of those kids, and I believe the year was 2014. And John was, quote, misbehaving and got kicked out of camp one day. And Coach Coombs had to call home afterwards, and John picked up the phone. Coach Coombs asked, hello, this is Newport Gulls coach Mike Coombs. I had to kick John out of camp today. Is Mr. and Mrs. Mass there that I can talk to? And John said, no, they're out of town for the week, and hung up.
Oh, man. And it's almost, if you know Coach Coombs, it's even funnier.
Yes, yeah.
Just because of his personality.
I wonder what that conversation was like when he came into the roster this year.
12 years later, John Mass gets to suit up for the very team he went to summer camp for. What a full circle moment that this season has been for the right-hander. 2 outs, 2 balls, and 1 strike to Jack Ludy. Mass kicks and deals, and Ludy fouls it off left side into the netting.
This Danbury team still looking for their first hit since the 3rd inning. It was a Kyle Garbowski single. And since then, they've had just 3 base runners.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuce is wild. Mass looking for his 2nd strikeout of the inning. And Ludy sends a fly ball in a deep right field at the wall, looking up, out of here. A 2-out homer from Jack Ludy brings the Danbury Westerners within 4, just scraping past the wall on a towering fly ball. And the Westerners get their first runs since the 2nd.
Well, I mentioned the pure pull power that Jack Ludy has and exactly what he does. It's a pitch that sits middle in. He rips it down the right field line, and that one a skyscraper over the fence.
Yeah, it went really high, but right over that white sign next to the championship banner, the A1 sign, it was maybe 3 feet over. It just hit the bottom.
Just got over there.
Almost hit the Wally's Wiener sign. Would have been giving out free hot dogs if that was the case.
Is that a thing?
I believe so.
You can't tempt me with free hot dogs, man. That's just rude.
Shattered bat right side. The toss to Mass at the first base bag for the 3rd out of the inning, but Danbury gets 2 back off the bat of Jack Ludy, who sends a moonshot to deep right field, scraping the night sky. The bottom of the 8th coming up next on NECBL Plus.
Most people spend their time trying to fit in. Not me. I want to be all in. I want to be in too deep, in the moment, in the center of it all, in the room where it happens. In it to make a difference every single moment of every single day. So grit your teeth and smile. Be ready to take on adversity. Be ready to transform the world. Ready for whatever life has in store. So, you in?
The motoring event of the year returns, the Audrey Newport Concours and Motor Week, October 1st through 4th. Witness breathtaking automobiles against the stunning backdrop of coastline and historic venues. From celebrated events like the Gathering and Concours d'Elegance to the all-new Supercar and Hypercar Concours, and free access to the Concours Village. There's something for all to enjoy. Join us in our Chair Jay Leno in celebrating automotive excellence, luxury, and community. Tickets on sale.
The bottom of the 8th, Newport with a 4-run lead. The Westerners making things a little bit more interesting. And a new arm on the mound, and Tegan Beams for more on the right-hander, Luca Mucciardi.
Yeah, Beams, a sophomore out of Quinnipiac, so a Connecticut local playing for the team from Connecticut. He appeared last night as well, was the final pitcher out of the pen in the loss to the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. Worked 1 inning, allowed a hit, no runs, no strikeouts on the year. Coming in for his 5th appearance, 5 2/3 innings with 5 Ks and a 7.94 ERA. And that's exactly who Danbury will go to try to find 3 more outs. They trail by 4 here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, if they want any hope of mounting some late inning heroics, chasing 4 with just 1 inning left, 1 at bat left to play with, they'll have to try and keep Newport right where they're at. Matt Benestad dancing around on the dugout. Cardines, it's emptied out just a little bit, but still a strong showing from the Newport faithful here tonight. We got more word from our sideline reporter, Adelina Aubin, who snapped a picture and sent it up to us in the booth of Maddox Haley during the game. He's on the bench today. Has drank 5 Gatorades and devoured 9 hot dogs. I guess the spirit of July with the holiday right around the corner.
Well, I think he's going to make our friend Luca a little.
I was saying, man, I'm always down for some hot dogs. I did it on air in Miami this past year. The midweek games are $2 hot dogs.
Wow.
And we get a stipend whenever we're calling the games. So our stipend ends up being $20.
Salinas with a swing and a drive. Deep right field. Forget about it. Way out of here. First pitch swinging. First pitch crushing from the lefty. Make it a 10 spot for Newport.
And that's one of the best hits I've seen from a left-handed hitter in this ballpark. The last 2 seasons, that ball was a no-doubter. I think Larson's last time against Danbury is a close one to that, but that ball over the trees, as you can see in that shot, and that might be hitting close to 400.
Yeah, that thing was pummeled. I mean, you had me ranting about hot dogs, and all of a sudden I heard that ball come off the bat.
Some extra mustard on that one, to say the least.
It's gone, man. Now,
you could tell off the bat. Salinas giving that one quite the drive. First pitch into Colby Wallace is upstairs for ball 1. And a guy that got robbed of a home run on Monday night finally gets his 2nd of the season here tonight. There's no doubt whether that one was fair or foul, but right over the right center field fence. His 2nd home run of the season. In above the letters to Wallace, 2-0. $2 hot dogs, though. That's a good time.
I got to 9.
9 hot dogs.
I had 9,
wow.
9 on the air. I did it on the air. It was a great time, actually.
Well, the Syracuse Mets are about the only pro sports team that Syracuse has to offer.
And they dollar dog
they
team?
do a dollar dogs every Thursday home game. So when we get back, by the time we're back in school, we had like 4 at the beginning of the year that we were able to go to. It's a fun time. Joe Dupuis loving the action.
I have some friends up from Toronto. They do the Looney Dog nights up there at the Rogers Center, their version of the dollar dog. They went this past week. Between the two of them, now they're both 20 years old. How many hot dogs do you think were consumed between two of them?
Oof. I'm gonna give a high guess. I'm gonna go 28.
28 hot dogs. That was the number. It was 15,
I was reading your mind.
15 and 13.
Oh, Jesus. That runs inside on Wallace. And look at that bat.
That is.
Are you kidding me?
That's the most splintered I've ever seen a bat.
That cannot be serious.
That looks like a pool cue.
He's laughing at it, too.
That is the most absurd thing that I've ever seen on a baseball field. That bat
it didn't
was
even split
as
down
thin
the
as
middle.
a piece of paper in Wallace's hands. Practically the entire bat goes flying towards Teddy Regan at the third baseline. That is quite the broken piece of lumber, firewood.
At the barrel.
Wow.
It didn't snap through the middle. It snapped from just an edge of the
if
barrel
I was
down.
Tegan Beams, I'd want to get my hand on that bat and frame it in my room.
How does that happen?
That is insane.
I'm not sure if you guys did this growing up. When I was playing, youth baseball, they do this drill with the skinny bat and the little wiffle balls. That's what it looked like right there. That was as skinny as it gets.
That is insane. The 3-2 home to Wallace is in the dirt for ball 4, so despite shattering the bat, Wallace works his way on. Still no outs in the bottom of the 8th. Newport just trying to put a cherry on top of things at this point. A 10-5 ball game in the bottom of the 8th. Salinas putting an exclamation point on what's looking like the 9th straight win with his blast of a solo shot over the right center field wall. Brandon Larson now stands in and sends one foul left side, shaking his head after the swing, one that he didn't want to miss. Both teams rocking their black hats here tonight. The Zephyr Z-hats. I got my hand on my own Z-cap the other day. The official on-field cap of the NECBL. Also known as Z-hats, Zephyr is the authentic college hat with over 800 colleges and channels the same energy and creativity into building custom hats of all types for pro sports teams, clothing brands, and companies everywhere. Make sure to pick up your Danbury Westerners or Newport Gulls hat today. 1 ball and 1 strike. Righty on lefty into Larson. Runs inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. The U.S. still with a 1-0 lead in the 60th minute of action. Trying to advance to play Belgium in the round of 16.
Man, what a game that would be.
Yes, seriously.
Face off against Belgium. Oof.
The United States, I think if you make it to the round of 16, that was towards the top of where people's expectations were.
That was what I was going to say.
If they could ever get to the quarterfinal round, it'd be chaos.
If the U.S. were to hold on to this lead, it'd be their first knockout round victory in a World Cup since 2002.
Wow. Larson pops one up, moving towards foul territory as Colin Mowry with room and drifting back, but in and out of the glove. So Larson can let out a loud gasp and gets another chance in the batter's box.
Just one of those nights for Danbury, but that's also not an easy play. I'm not going to act like it is. High spiraling fly ball. And number one, there's not a lot of room there either to work with. So, he was about 3 feet away from the wall, kind of came spiraling back towards the field of play, drops out of the glove, just, an out they could have had. It would have been the first of the inning.
3-2, the same that Beams had against Wallace a batter ago. Larson swings right through it for out number 3, a pitch that finishes below the knees, and he'll retreat back to the dugout for the first out of the inning. And stands Adam Broski, making his second at-bat of the ball game after entering for Peter Mershon about halfway through things. Popped out his first time up. And I'll ask you, Luca, as our soccer expert, after watching the group stages, do you have a pick to win the whole thing?
So it's funny. It's funny you asked that, actually. So My pick to win the whole thing is France. But
And they're
that's
facing Paraguay.
That's a conflict of interest for me because they're facing my country of Paraguay.
What a upset that would be if they could ever pull things off.
Listen, I'm very happy with the Paraguay win over Germany the other day, and that was probably the most fun memory I have. One of the most fun memories I have as a soccer fan watching that game. But beating France would be something unbelievable. They made it a national holiday in Paraguay yesterday. Schools were closed, businesses were closed. It was crazy.
Pandemonium as they upset a top 10 team in the entire world in Germany. Pitch misses up and away for ball 3.
I do think France is the one that everyone's trying to beat.
Their attack is
incredible.
Incredible. Two Ballon d'Or winners on there.
Dembele, Mbappe, Barcola, Desiree Doué. I mean, it's just every single guy on that team.
A walk to Adam Broski puts 2 men on with just 1 out. Braxton Trammell now will get his chances.
As someone who watches minimal soccer, I watch France play. I've seen 2 of their games. They're just phenomenal.
They're incredible.
It's like, at first I'm like, I don't know if I can tell a difference. You watch some sports, you can see a difference between 2 professional teams. I watch them play, I'm like, they're just a different level of soccer.
We have a breaking update in the U.S.'s quest for a World Cup. Folarin Balogun has just been sent off. Straight red card. So the U.S. is down to 10 men for the final 24 minutes and stoppage time in this match. And if they were to advance, they would have no Flo Balogun for the matchup against Belgium, who is their leading scorer in this tournament with 3 goals.
What a crusher for the United States.
That's a tough. I mean, that's about as bad as it gets.
He's been the breakout star, really.
This has been his tournament.
Pitch runs inside to Trammell. 1 ball and no strikes with 1 out and 2 men aboard. A puzzling sequence for the United States, who will now just have to try and survive against Bosnia, who will be playing up a man for the remainder of the contest. The 1 out. Fouled back into the fence. Even at sticks with 1 out. Yeah, I think France is probably my pick as well. And Cape Verde just refuses to lose, but I don't know if they're going to be able to win either.
They're playing Argentina.
Yeah,
so
that's a tough break.
As much as I'll be rooting for them to win that, I don't see that happening.
Upstairs to Trammell, you wonder if England, the fact that they were able to get that win today, maybe just getting the monkey off the back and resetting after a close W, maybe they could keep rolling.
Well, I was talking to Teddy Cashman and some of the other Westerners about that today because we were watching it on the bus, and they were saying, well, what do you think about England? That pitch is taken high. And I said, no one beats Mexico in Mexico. That's the problem. Mexico is historically unbeatable at the Azteca at the altitude, and now England's going to have to go there on short rest.
Not an easy place to play. 3 balls and 1 strike. Tegan Beams in a load of trouble with just 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, already having surrendered 1 off the bat of Tristan Salinas. 3-1 misses down low. So the bases will be loaded for Newport, just trying to pour it on. A bases loaded opportunity for Cade Brown, who was hit by a pitch his last time around. And we've been talking a little bit during the break that this is just sort of how games have gone for Danbury. It was a close contest through the first 4 innings of play, 3-2 in favor of the Westerners, but the pitching just really fell apart in the bottom of the 5th, surrendering 6 runs to Newport, who just continued to build the lead from there. Currently stands at 5, a 10-5 contest, and it could go from bad to worse in a matter of moments. Cade Brown swings straight through strike 1.
Yeah, if you're Tegan Beams right here, you're just praying for a ground ball to the shortstop or the second baseman. Try to get out of this inning and then have, one last shot in the top half of the 9th. But, really been a disastrous start so far, already down 5.
Brown swings through another strike at the top of the zone. So no balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Beams trying to collect an unproductive out. The corners moved in for the Westerners. The middle shifted back. Colby Wallace at third, Broski at second, and Trammell over at the first. Misses upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cade Brown. Still just 1 out in the home half of the 8th. Beams comes set. Kicks and deals. And misses up and in. Now even at 2s.
Cade Brown was maybe trying to say it hit him a little bit. The umpire was not convinced.
Hit by a pitch in his last at-bat, last inning, too. So kind of running up inside to Brown.
The 2-2. Upstairs again. So after working ahead on Brown, 0-2. 3 straight balls from Beams, and now at danger of walking in a run. It'd be Wallace over at third. 3-2 payoff pitch home. Misses inside, and 4 straight balls from Tegan Beams allows Colby Wallace to take the jog home for the 11th run of the ball game. Coach Colin Farrell's going to make his way out to the mound. We'll see if at this point they just ride Beams the rest of the way.
You got to think, no reason to waste another arm. An 11-5 game, you might as well leave Beams out there and see if he can work through his woes that he's been facing on the mound.
His second run surrendered in the home half of the 8th. The leadoff home run from Tristan Salinas, and now the bases loaded walk.
Right fielder, number 43, Cole Johnson.
Cole Johnson now with a bases loaded opportunity. 1 out, pitch home, misses inside.
Corner is going to be about on the grass right here. Donahue, Garbowski for the Westerners. Try to at least limit the damage.
1-0, misses downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes.
And no way to limit the damage if you can't hit the zone.
Yeah.
Tegan Beams at 6 straight balls.
I like that corner's indecision in a closer game, but I'm surprised they're not keeping him back, because if you get something, you know, to either of those guys, let them develop double play.
Johnson shoots 1 foul, right side out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two dangerous power hitters for Newport at the plate and on deck, and Cole Johnson and Caden Cloud. 3 combined doubles on the evening. Johnson with a drive to deep right field at the wall and looking up. It's off the wall. Johnson digging for 2. 2 men now stuck at third for Newport. Trammell moving towards home, and he's stuck in a pickle. Now we're running him back towards the third base bag. The throw not in time. And now chaos between second and third with Cade Brown. The throw to the plate on a hop. Trammell can't avoid the tag. So a wacky play as Cole Johnson's now somehow back at first after it all. So mark it as a long single, an RBI single at that. I'll tell you what's funny is my roommate Noah Townsend, who works in our analytics department, we do this game where we can each call one hitter to hit a home run during the game, and if it's true, either I buy him Chipotle or he buys me Chipotle.
I like that.
And it was Cole Johnson. He called it that at bat, and Johnson came up just short.
Wow. Man.
So it could have been. But you know what's really weird is, I got to tell you, I'm leaking Noah's info out there. We go to Chipotle for the first time, and I know the kid's a picky eater. But when we go through this line, and I hear him say, "Can I get a burrito, no rice and no beans," followed by double steak and just cheese, I was taken aback.
Why not just get a quesadilla? It's just a steak quesadilla.
Well, no, he's gone towards the quesadilla a little bit more, but you can only get that on the app or when it's not busy. But we sometimes go during the lunch rush.
I'm a no beans guy too, but
no, but you can't go no rice and no beans.
You have
and
to
no
have
other
rice.
toppings.
So you put nothing in it. You're just eating. Is that not just the chewiest burrito ever?
Cloud grounds one up the middle and through for a base hit. Cade Brown scores on in from third. Caden Cloud, his 3rd hit of the ball game, his 4th RBI, makes it a 13-5 contest in the bottom of the 8th. I'm a bull guy, though.
100%.
I used to be a burrito guy, and I've switched to the bowl. I've switched to the bowls. I think
because if you're really feeling it, you can always
you
get
the chips.
You get the chips.
See, we understand.
We're on the same page, looking.
We are on the same page.
I go beans though. I don't get
black or pinto.
Both.
Really?
Yeah. You don't want to be around me for the next hour or so, but I love myself double beans. Got to get the protein in there. The 0-1. Zyrus swings right through it. Caden Cloud, what a phenomenal day out of the 9 spot in the order, and that just shows you how dangerous this Newport lineup is. I mean, Johnson and Caden Cloud have done a lot of the heavy lifting offensively, batting 8 and 9 tonight. Inside to Zyrus, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs.
Yeah, and Harry, you've had the opportunity to do all the games, but in the last 3.5 weeks since opening day, I mean, you've been able to see this lineup just progress. I think it's truly been up every week, getting better.
The 1-2 is a wave and a miss from Devin Zyrus for out number 3, but Newport just pouring it on at this point. A 4 spot in the bottom of the 8th makes it an 8-run ball game. Now just seeking 3 outs away from their 9th straight win of the season. Coming up next on NECBL Plus. A 13-5 contest in the top of the 9th. This one all but over. We thank you for sticking with us on NECBL Plus alongside Matt Clements and Luca Mucciardi. I'm Harry Tidgewell. We're having flashbacks to, I believe, was it Monday's contest, Matt? Or Fridays? It might have been Fridays. It was Fridays, where we had a fan come out and sing Sweet Caroline and do the entire song, which stretched well into the beginning of the half inning.
I was going to say, were they playing while the person was singing?
They postponed play.
That's awesome.
And the fans stuck it out through Coach Coombs telling him to get off the field, the umpire trying to usher him off. He was stubborn. He wouldn't leave.
That's awesome.
It was a marvelous experience.
I really want to see that.
Yeah, I'll have to send it over your way.
Yeah,
if
we have the clip of that. We're going to get a pinch hitter for Danbury here. Tyler Castrataro out of Hofstra will place Michael Delph.
Ooh, Hofstra guy. We have a couple of Hofstra guys.
Somebody in the production room likes
Carter
Hofstra.
Castrataro. Yeah, we have Matt Clements and Ethan Poole. So both the guys down in the
Carter.
Carter. Oh, who did I say?
Me.
I said you. Yeah, Carter Holubesco and Ethan Poole, both out of Hofstra, which we were joking at the beginning of the season. A team that really had Syracuse's number this year. Not only did they beat them
especially
in soccer,
in hoops,
which is, yeah, you could expect the soccer loss. It was sort of like Hofstra's a good team and bounced Syracuse in the first round of the NCAA tournament, but being at that basketball game where Syracuse missed practically all of their free throws and proceeded to lose to the Hofstra Pride
watching that game
in the Dome. Right after, it was only weeks after we beat Tennessee too, and the vibes were so high. Everyone was like, Syracuse is back, and that was the beginning of a poor year.
Hofstra was a tournament team.
Hofstra was a tournament team that hung around with Alabama during that first half.
I had them winning that game in my bracket.
I had them winning that game as well, strictly off the fact that they beat Syracuse. I had to ride with the Pride. 3 balls, 1 strike. John Mass out for his second inning of work. Kicks and deals. And Castrataro fouls one straight back for strike 2. 1 pitch away from the first out of the inning. 1 pitch away from Danbury working the leadoff man aboard. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. John Mass blowing the high heat past him. Picks up another K on the late evening. His second of the day to be exact. Now I'll be calling Mowry, the catcher. An 0 for 2 day. Danbury hasn't managed much offensively, just 4 hits to their name, 5 runs in the score column. First pitch misses low and away with the breaking ball. Couple of long balls, though, as promised. Edmonds got in on the action. He stands on deck. Salinas on the Newport side of things with a solo shot as well. And Jack Ludy. 3 altogether between the Westerners and Gulls. A line drive into left field and down in front of Colby Wallace for a base knock. Mowry, his first hit of the ball game, hands things off to Jack Edmonds.
Fine piece of hitting right there. Really, really good contact. Barreled it up. Line drive.
You ever play MLB The Show? Hit a perfect.
Perfect.
That's exactly what
like
that
it.
sounded like.
Seriously.
Like that sounded like the game clip.
Looks like U.S. came close to just netting another one, but called off sides again.
And they're going to be parking the bus now. It's time to hunker down and survive that lead.
Now that's a soccer term I do know because when I play FIFA with my friends, that's the strategy as soon as you go up 1-0.
No, you don't. you can't do that. That's terrible.
Play the game.
13-5 lead in favor of Newport. I don't play a lot of FIFA. I'm more of a show guy. The 0-1 and blowing the high fastball past Edmonds for strike 2.
So I will admit I'm the type of guy to take a knee in Madden.
No, you're not.
Wow.
Fourth quarter.
No, if there's like 4 seconds left, you throw the Hail Mary regardless of how big you're up. And if the guy picks it off, he picks it off.
You play chew clock, too, when you're winning?
No, I'll still play the game, normally. But
and another high fastball as Edmonds goes chasing up at the eyes for out number 2. 2 Ks, 2 outs for John Mass. Now just 1 out away from Newport's 9th straight victory. I'll tell you, I have some really competitive Madden leagues I was in during the COVID days especially, and shoe clock was used a couple of times, along with Dagger was my go-to play.
If you're playing online, I feel like you're allowed to do it. Dagger was your go-to play?
Yeah. Mesh also up there, of course.
I love the good tight end attack.
Tight end attack is a good one.
PA crossers.
PA crossers. Oh, we're just naming all the bangers.
If you remember, I think it was like Madden 21 or 22. Elite play was broken for like 2 months. RPO peak zone bubble.
Yes. 2 outs, no balls, and 1 strike into Rivera. Runner takes off. The throw to second from Broski on a bounce, but diving in safely is Colin Mowry. Newport standing at 8 straight wins. Trying to push it to 9, just 1 out away. What a turnaround it's been. They were 5-7-1, 1 out away from 14-7-1, and sole possession of second place in the South Division.
I mean, it's going to be a race to the finish between Martha's Vineyard and Newport. It just seems like Mystics right there too. Don't get me wrong, but the Sharks and the Gulls giving each other all the pressure as we get through this South Division.
Inside to Rivera, 3 balls and 1 strike.
That new format, of course, though, is really what's keeping Danbury alive right now. Fall to 8-12, but you look at Valley's 8-11-1. Bristol just a 10-win team. You catch up to those two, all of a sudden you're in the hunt for the top 8.
The 3-1 misses upstairs, so Rivera works the 5-pitch walk. Not home free just yet. Bennett Creer pinch hit his last time around for Aiden Stern. Will get another chance. U.S. just netted a goal.
Wow, with 10 men on a free kick.
Makes it some much-needed insurance with just about 10 minutes left to play. A 2-0 lead for the Americans.
It should get them through to face off against Belgium. So now the worry goes, all right, well, no Flo Balogun, but you deal with that when you have to. You'll take the win and the advancement.
1 ball and no strikes. Pitch home is swung right through by Creer. Even at ones. Off of a free kick.
I mean, just a beauty. Malik Tillman places that into the back corner.
A beautiful ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs with 2 men aboard. Pitch home. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Back pick towards first. Rivera dives in safely. Gets the right hand in on the back part of the bag. Larson sent tripping backwards, but both men appear to be okay. John Mass, 1 pitch away. He struck out the first 2 outs of the inning. 3 strikeouts on his day so far, looking for his 4th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mass kicks and deals. Misses up. 2-2.
Must be a fun, full circle moment for this kid. Obviously a Portsmouth guy, and we told the story about him, with Coach Coombs in 2014. Now, only 20 minutes from home at Cardines with an opportunity to put this one away.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A dominant 13-5 win for their 9th straight victory. The Gulls keep on rolling. Make it 14-7-1 as they try and chase down the Martha's Vineyard Sharks for first place in the South Division. An all-around performance, 13 runs on the offensive side of things, and allowed just 5. We'll break it all down when we come back on the other side from NECBL Plus.
Looking to show off your Newport Gulls pride? Swing by the Goalie Shop, your official home for Gulls gear. From t-shirts and hoodies to hats and limited edition merch, we've got everything you need to rep Newport in style. Located right inside historic Cardines Field, or shop online anytime at newportgulls.com and click on the Goalie Shop. Don't miss out, grab your gear today and join the best fans in summer baseball. The Goalie Shop, where Gulls fans gear up.
New month, same goals. A dominant showing to begin the month of July. 13-5, Newport over the Danbury Westerners. We bring you into the broadcast booth alongside Matt Clements and Luca Mucciardi. First off, guys, a tremendous job, a great experience getting the call game with you guys. But Luca, I'll start with you. Danbury, they had won 3 of their last 4, but now 2 straight losses. That did come against the 2 top teams in the South Division, and the Sharks and Gulls, but they're still gunning for one of those spots in the NECBL playoffs, and as they approach the back half, how do you go about getting back on track?
Well, it's one of those games where you look at today and you see, they had a base hit in the 3rd from Garbowski, and then they didn't have another base runner until the 7th inning, and that just can't happen against the quality teams like Newport, like the Martha's Vineyards of the world. And then when your offense isn't producing, you're asking a lot out of your bullpen. If one side's faltering, the other side's going to start to have to try to pick it back up, and they weren't able to do that today. So it's going to be a mix of both. Can the bullpen kind of resettle themselves and find something tomorrow afternoon back at home? And can the offense find the bats again, get it back to where they have been on paper so far this season?
The offensive consistency just not quite there. They only scored in 2 out of their 9 frames here tonight. But, Matt, Newport just continues to look tremendous. Now 9 straight victories, but tomorrow's probably the biggest challenge they've had during that streak in the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, a team they're 0-2 against so far this season, and they got to head out to the Vineyard for that game. What are going to be the keys for Newport if they want to try and get to double-digit wins?
Well, Vineyard plays unselfish baseball up there. A lot of hit and run, a lot of bunt, and they need to do what they did today on the offensive end. The question was, how can they get the bats hot? Well, the whole order hit today, 1 through 9. And I think Coombs has really put together a good lineup. He didn't even have Gus Gandy in it today. So if you can put together a lineup similar to that who can hit 1 through 9, guys early in the inning get on, and then it was just rolling from there. Bats were hot, outscore them on the defensive end, play conservative. They're going to come out, bunt, hit, and run, a lot of small ball stuff, and they do have the power up in the Vineyard. So a lot of different pieces that Sharks teams bring in, conserve, offensive side, hit the ball. I mean, if you duplicate this performance, it's going to be hard to beat.
3 games down on the week for Newport, 3 more to go. They head to the Vineyard tomorrow to face off with the Sharks and host their interstate rival in Ocean State on Friday. And we'll see if they can keep this win streak going. It's been a fun thing to follow along here with the Gulls. 9 straight wins. They look to move it to double digits tomorrow against the South Division's best in the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. Before we say goodbye, we want to say a big thank you to everybody on our staff here at Cardines, the media team, Olivia, Adelina, Veronica, Tyler, and Michael, the best in the biz. Thank you for everything you guys do. The broadcast ops side of things, we had Joe Dupuis and Matt Benestad on cameras today. We have Carter Holubesco and Ethan Poole down in the dungeon as well. Shout out Sorka Lewis, who's a little sick day today, but we hope you feel better. Mikey Basile and Tom Lima, thank you guys as always. From up here in the booth, Matt Clements, a tremendous job. Thank you for joining us. Luca Macciardi, a pleasure to have you as always. A 13-5 win for the Newport Gulls. Thank you for tuning in on NECBL Plus. I'm Harry Tidgewell saying have a nice night. A dominant 13-5 win for the Newport Gulls. We welcome you back post-game here with Caden Cloud, who collected 3 hits here tonight, including 2 doubles and an offensive explosion on Newport's side of things here tonight. How do you guys just keep going about having that offensive consistency?
Yeah, I just think, focusing on each and every at-bat, each and every day, like this is going to expire tonight. So all that matters is, what we do tomorrow. So, yeah.
Focusing on you specifically, we saw you go to all parts of the ballpark, pulled one to left and shot a couple into right as well. How important is it for you to have the patience to go to all parts of the field?
Yeah, for sure. I think if I'm, trying to pull off and just go to left, it kind of opens up holes in the right side. But if I can, fire it to all fields, I just feel like I'm at the best of my game.
Focusing on tomorrow's game against the Sharks, the current top team in the South Division standings, but Newport's now, you guys have won 9 straight. How are you going to go about making it 10?
Just keep focusing on what it takes to win. We talk a lot about that at school and, carrying it over here. Just, focusing on the little details that help you to win in the end. So, yeah.
We'll must-see action tomorrow between the Martha's Vineyard Sharks and Newport Gulls. See if Newport can keep on rolling and make it 10 straight. I'm Harry Tidgewell saying goodnight, Newport.